Because why would I not start off muted? It only seems right. Hello, my name is Lacey Jane. This is Criminally Confident, and I am so excited that you are spending some time with me today. Please make sure to let me know if you are in the chat, and if you are enjoying it so far. I mean, I've been on air for like 1 minute. Please make sure to hit the thumbs up button and give this an algorithm boost. That's what that does. And if you are loving this, which I mean, heck yeah, make sure to hit the subscribe button. Thanks, guys. So I have had quite a few people subscribe in the last 24 hours. My people who just like watch the channel and nothing else, they're going to be like, why? What? It's really not that important. We will discuss it, not today. I am still in beautiful Florida with my mom, and I want to surround myself with happy memories and experiences. And last night's conversation, while it was therapeutic, it gets a lot of people riled up, and I don't want to cause any I don't know, oorah. That's not even the right word. I just used like the call for the Marines. I don't want to stir the shit pot like other people. Let's just put it like, let's be real. Thank you, maybe, for being here, and thank you for commenting with that so that I wouldn't forget. Please make sure to say hello to Maybe. And once again, if you are new here, things are a little bit different right now. I had gone on vacation and things were like crazy, and we were getting like 60,000 views per stream. And then I came back from vacation and I realized that YouTube doesn't like that. So we're like slowly reacclimating and rebuilding the algorithm, and maybe has been such a huge part of that. So I am I'm super thankful that you guys are here. And if you have any questions throughout this YouTube session, please make sure to put them in the chat. And yeah, if you double tap your screen, I guess, you can subscribe and like and do all the things just by hitting it. I know that things will come to me as we start in this. So let's get started with part 2 of Charlie's testimony. What a piece of work he is. I'm also like, I think something's going on with my throat. So like, that's why I'm not as chatty today, but it might come. Who knows? You'll have to see.
And yeah, it wasn't even a real date. We just went and had dinner. There's a restaurant in the.
But my same arguments apply to that.
Very well, Ms. Koppelman, do you have similar objections for the entire composite block of text messages?
Yes, sir.
All right, again,
Wait,
there
hold
are
on.
portions that you wish to extract from the composite that you believe that are both relevant and are not hearsay. I will certainly consider those, but as a composite exhibit,
Yes.
I am going to find that they would otherwise be not relevant or hearsay or create 403 issues with confusion of the issues at trial.
Judge, ma'am, I understand your ruling. Ma'am,
Go
make
ahead.
just one additional argument for the record.
Go ahead.
For the record. In the state's case in chief, they were allowed to put in phone calls showing arrows that they have no idea anything said on those calls. They're essentially the same thing as putting in text messages like this, except you actually see the content, right?
The chain of the traffic versus what is actually said?
They put in every call. Okay? They put in every call between these participants on those particular days, which, by the way, correspond mostly to the days that I'm offering these text messages for. They put them in for their own purposes. I think I should be allowed, under a 403 analysis, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, to put in the text messages, to show the pattern or lack of pattern of anything. And that's what these text messages show. But I could just ask the questions, but I would like the record to reflect that under a 403 analysis, it was allowed for them. It's not being allowed for us.
I wouldn't exactly say it boils down to being that simple, but your objection is noted, specifically as to what the state was permitted to demonstrate in their case in chief goes to either demonstrating motive or direct evidence of what they believe show the elements of the charges. As to these composite exhibits, and again, I don't want to get very deep into what the subject matter is, there are messages that either go to embarrassing of the other witnesses or litigants in this matter, matters that are wholly irrelevant, or matters that do not demonstrate in any way the
Interesting.
theory of defense as the court understands it. If there are portions, again, that are specifically relevant to negating either the motive or any of the elements of the charges and are not hearsay, as argued by the defense, I will consider those separately, but as a composite on the whole, the 403 issues, the relevance, and hearsay issues, I believe, compel me to deny their admission.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Let's bring back in the jurors and we'll continue.
That was what was laid out by the defense in the opening statement that Charlie.
I know that I am, I muted myself intentionally so that you guys wouldn't have to hear the curling iron. That's so weird. Why? We do need the part 2. Is this what I just clicked on? Let's look. Yeah, this is it. Why do they have to be so sketch about it?
That was what was laid out by the.
Stop it. Day 7. Wait. Yeah, I need day 6. All right, unexpected.
That was.
So it
That
does
was
show
what was
this
laid
guy.
out by the defense in the opening statement that Charlie Adelson.
I went to pick her up.
Now let's talk about July 1,
We're gonna
which
go
is
through.
about 3 or 4 weeks after that. By the way, up until July 1,
Unless maybe you
Had you
can
ever
find me a better link.
talked to, texted with, met Sigfredo Garcia.
No, not at all.
What happened on July 1?
July 1, I was going to take Katie jet skiing, and I had the jet ski attached to the car, and I drove to her place in Miami, and I went to pick her up, and I remember it so well. I got flowers right before I picked her up. I bought flowers from the guy selling them in the middle of the street, and I picked Katie up, and we started driving out of her complex, and we got about 200 feet, and this blue car comes flying out of nowhere, flies in front of us, and slams on the brakes. I've got a car, and I'm towing a 1,200-pound jet ski behind it, and she starts screaming, "That's T, that's T, that's T," and I'm like, I almost rear-ended this car, and this guy gets out of the car, and he comes over, and he's screaming every kind of 4-letter word at me, threatening me. His face was real red. My windows were up, and the guy was going crazy. And I'm kind of a little bit boxed in because the front of my car was almost against the rear of his car, so I couldn't drive past it. And I had a big jet ski and a trailer behind my car, so I ended up putting the car in reverse, doing like a little bit of a 3-point turn, a little bit, swinging the car around. He then got in his car, chased alongside of us, and you can't, if you're towing a jet ski with a car, you can't go real fast. You don't have much acceleration. He was right alongside of us, rolled his window down, was screaming all this stuff at us. And when we got to the light, it was just turning yellow, and I gunned it. I remember making a left-hand turn, and I said to Katie, I go, "That guy's fucking nuts." And he goes, "Nuts?" She goes, "He's really calmed down." I go, "What do you mean he's calmed down?" And she goes, "The old T I know would have broken your window and dragged you out to the street and beaten your ass."
Now, that evening, by the way, let's talk about, you say T. Did you know Sigfredo Garcia under another nickname as well?
Yeah, she referred to him as T or Tuto or Sigfredo.
Now, that evening, did your father call you?
Yeah.
And what did your father say to you when he called you, Harvey? What did Harvey say to you when he called you?
He was worried about me
Why?
because he got a threatening message on his voicemail. And the guy was saying, you know, something to the effect of, next time I see you, it's going to be mano a mano, you know, don't fuck with me. You know, you don't know who I am, something like that. And then hung the phone up.
Okay. Again, this was July 1, correct?
Yeah,
And this is now 17 days before Professor Markel was murdered, correct?
it was.
So we have Sigfredo Garcia thinking about killing you in March before the first attempt, right?
Yeah.
And now we have him threatening you and trying to run you off the road just 17 days before the actual murder occurred, right?
Yes.
You're aware that the state's theory is that you are co-conspirators with Sigfredo Garcia?
That's their theory.
Now let's go to July 5th. Your dad's birthday party. By the way, what was served at the birthday party?
We had the paella and the chef there cooking it.
Okay. And how many people approximately attended the party?
It was in their apartment. They probably had, let's say, roughly about 30.
Okay. Did you invite Catherine McManawa to the party?
No, I didn't.
Why not?
The party was in their apartment, which was where?
It was in South Beach. It was in South Beach at the Continuum.
Now, what time did the party end?
It went from probably 7-ish to probably about 11:30, 12 o'clock.
How far is the Continuum in South Beach from your house in Fort Lauderdale?
It's every bit of 45 minutes, depending on traffic.
That evening, where did you sleep?
I slept over at Katie's house
Why did you sleep over at Katie's house?
because my brother was in town for my dad's 70th birthday party with his wife and their kids. And then my sister was in town, and the whole family was doing stuff the next day, and it was going to be at my parents' house. They're at their apartment, so I didn't want to drive all the way back to Fort Lauderdale and then all the way back to Miami.
Does Katie live closer to South Beach than your home in Fort Lauderdale?
Yeah, she's probably
Wait
15
a
minutes away. 10 to 15
He
minutes.
said Lauderdale.
And did you
I
go
leave
back to
it
your
open.
parents' apartment the next day on July 6th?
Yeah, I slept at Katie's place. It was only 2 times I probably ever slept there. And then I went back to my parents' place like for lunch the next day.
Did Katie come with you?
No, she did not.
Now, I want to draw your attention to June 16th and a late night work with your assistant, Erica.
Yeah.
Do you recall that?
I do.
I know you're not going to know specific times, but how late did you work with Erica that evening?
We worked till about 10 o'clock at night.
Okay. And what did you do after work?
We'd worked through dinner, so we were both hungry. So me and Erica went to go eat dinner.
And what time did you get home, approximately?
I got home about 11:45.
When you got home, did you speak with Catherine McManawa?
I did. We texted her, or I called her.
And during that conversation on the 16th, but it's really the morning of the 17th, I think, is midnight.
Yeah, it was after midnight.
What happened on that call?
Katie was questioning where I was and who I was with, and was saying it was suspicious because I think I ended up calling her probably about 12:30 that night because I came home, changed, took a shower, and then when I finally called her, it was like 12:30. So she thought I was cheating on her.
And was it a heated discussion?
Yeah, I mean, I worked hard all day. You know, I didn't do anything wrong. I went out to dinner with Erica, and like she was just questioning on who I was with and what I was doing. She wasn't happy.
Towards the end of the discussion, what did you agree
What
to do with Katie the next day?
I told her I actually don't. My morning off is canceled. I don't start work until 1:45 tomorrow. I said, if you want, come up here and we'll grab lunch.
And did you have lunch with Miss McManawa the next day?
Yes, I did.
What happened when you had lunch with Catherine McManawa on the 17th?
She started all over again with like questioning me about the night before, and then she wanted to make plans with me to do dinner on Friday night. And she got very upset at me, and she was just like weirdly adamant. Like, this Friday night, I want to do dinner with you. Like, why are you saying you don't know? Like, you don't know you're fine to go do dinner with Erica and not call me till 12:30, and just didn't stop. And we got into a fight at lunch.
So let's take that a little bit slower. So you meet with her on the 17th, and on the 17th, your testimony is that she was adamant that she wanted to have dinner with you on the 18th. Is that right?
Yeah.
And where did she want to have dinner with you?
She wanted to make dinner plans and go down to Miami.
Was that odd?
I mean, it was Friday night. She was my girlfriend, so from that perspective, it wasn't odd. What was odd is that she was so adamant, and when I pushed back on it, there was no push. She was like started questioning me even more.
Now, where were you going to work on the 18th?
Our babysitter.
I was working in
today.
Jupiter.
Crap.
Okay. So we're in Tallahassee. So let's just make sure everyone knows where Jupiter is compared to Miami, where Catherine McManawa is, where she wanted you to have dinner. How far is Jupiter from Miami?
I would say with no traffic, it's probably 2 hours and 15 minutes, maybe 2:30.
And so,
Wait, what?
and I might have said the wrong one. We're in July. It's July, not June. July 17th, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So why did you want to go all the way back down to Miami? And what did you tell Catherine McManus?
Telling Katie I'm going to be in the car for at least an hour and a half driving up to Jupiter. My back kills me when I'm in the car for that long. I got to drive back another hour and a half home. I got 2 offices I'm working in. I got 10 hours of surgery I'm doing. I'm like, I don't even know what time I'm getting out. And she was just like, oh, so it's just going to be another late night and you don't want to see your girlfriend on a Friday night?
And how did the lunch end?
I told her that, I said, you're acting like a bitch. I didn't call her a bitch, but I said she was acting like a bitch.
And did you leave the restaurant?
Yeah, we had some words, and I put some money down on the table and both walked out. And I'm like, I got to get to work. I can't deal with this now.
Did you contact her, or did she try to contact you during the day of the 17th, July 17th?
She called me while I was at work around 6:30, but I was still working and I didn't pick up the call.
When did you speak to her again?
I was pretty pissed at her, so I didn't call her until after 12 that night. After I came home, I went to the gym, took a shower. I called her after 12.
And when you called her after 12 that evening, did you apologize?
We eventually smooth things over a little bit. Like I felt bad for saying that to her, and she was still mad at me and still wanting to see me. So I did smooth things over, but not entirely.
Now, the next day, you have several text communications with Miss Judge. May we briefly approach?
See, guys, this is like a normal amount of sidebars. What is going on in Georgia? I couldn't. It was just like
that he was interviewing his dad. So I guess the jury would be thinking about, is your dad going to be looking through your phone?
40-35, 40-35.
And during the call up to
really
Jupiter, did you make several phone calls?
Yeah, that's my morning routine, and I was in the car for an hour and a half, so I was on the phone a bunch.
Now, there's several times where there is a phone call made, and then immediately after there's another call, and they're short calls, and then immediately after there's another call. Do you know why that was the case?
Yeah, because there's a stretch of highway between West Palm and up in Jupiter where you'll get drop calls constantly. So you'll call somebody and then you can't hear the person, or it doesn't go through, and they start talking, they hang up and call them again. So the calls drop constantly up there.
Okay. Do you recall having some text message communication with a friend named Mike and also Catherine McManus about dinner that night?
Yes, I do.
And without getting into too many specifics, what was the general issue?
Mike had wanted me to get dinner with him because his house is kind of close to Jupiter. And sometimes when I'm up that way, I'll see him. Katie was still upset about the other day and feeling like I give more time to other people and questioning why it's a Friday night and I don't want to spend it with her. I eventually just texted with Katie and I apologized for calling her a bitch and telling her I said she was acting like when I didn't call her one, but evidently to some people there's no difference. I should have said it. So I ended up apologizing and making dinner plans with her.
So you chose to make dinner plans with Katie that night, correct?
Yeah.
And where the dinner plans were going to actually happen, did you get that far in making specific plans?
No, but girlfriend on a Friday night.
And how did the lunch end?
I told her that, I said, you're acting like a bitch. I didn't call her a bitch, but I said she was acting like a bitch.
And did you leave the restaurant?
Yeah, we had some words, and I
Here, I'm not going to mess with that.
Walked out, and I'm like, I got to get to work. I can't deal with this now.
Did you contact her, or did she try to contact you during the day of the 17th, July 17th?
She called me while I was at work around 6:30, but I was still working and I didn't pick up the call.
When did you speak to her again?
I was pretty pissed at her, so I didn't call her until after 12 that night. After I came home, I went to the gym, took a shower. I called her after 12.
And when you called her after 12 that evening, did you apologize?
We eventually smooth things over a little bit. Like I felt bad for saying that to her, and she was still mad at me and still wanting to see me. So I did smooth things over, but not entirely.
Now, the next day, you have several text communications with Miss Judge. May we briefly approach?
This is where we were. Okay. I found a good place. I found a good feed. And it looks like the resolution on this feed is actually much better than the resolution on the other one. The night before he testified, she got kicked out of the courtroom because her cell phone rang. That's Dan Markel's mom. Like, I mean, I know that the judge said to turn off your cell phones, but my goodness. Yes, send the flashy hearts. Make sure to hit the like button, please, and send the flashy hearts. Come on. Come on, Trolley. 227.
Now we're on the 18th, July 18th. Did you speak with your sister that morning?
I did.
What do you recall talking to your sister about?
I called her in the car on the way up to work.
Fair.
And I ended up talking to her. She's told me that she was having the TV set repaired. I thought she had told me that Lincoln had thrown something at it and broke the screen. So she was getting a TV fixed. And then I was also, the reason I called her was because I was in a fight with Katie and I wanted to get her opinion on something. So I spoke to her and told her what I said to Katie, and she gave me sisterly advice like she usually does.
And again, that morning, you're in the car for quite some time?
About an hour and a half.
Where were the two? You were working at one or two offices that day?
I was working in two offices, but they're across the street from each other in Jupiter.
Okay.
He
And
must
during the
rack
call up to
so
Jupiter,
many
did you make
miles
several phone
for
calls?
this job.
Yeah, that's my morning routine, and I was in the car for an hour and a half, so I was on the phone a bunch.
Now, there's several times where there is a phone call made, and then immediately after there's another call, and they're short calls, and then immediately after there's another call. Do you know why that was the case?
Yeah, because there's a stretch of highway between West Palm and up in Jupiter where you'll get drop calls constantly. So you'll call somebody and then you can't hear the person, or it doesn't go through, and you start talking and you hang up and call them again. So the calls drop constantly.
Do you recall having some text message communication with a friend named Mike and also Catherine McBanawa about dinner that night?
Yes, I do.
And without getting into too many specifics, what was the general issue?
Mike had wanted me to get dinner with him because his house is kind of close to Jupiter. And sometimes when I'm up that way, I'll see him. Katie was still upset about the other day and feeling like I give more time to other people and questioning why it's a Friday night and I don't want to spend it with her.
He does
I eventually
surgery and he
texted
doesn't
Katie and I
spend enough
apologized for
time
calling
with
her
me.
and telling her I said she was acting like one. I didn't call her one, but evidently to some people there's no difference. I shouldn't have said it, so I ended up apologizing and making dinner plans with her.
So you chose to make dinner plans with Katie that night, correct?
Yeah.
And where the dinner plans were going to actually happen, did you get that far in making specific plans?
No, but I said I just want to do something casual in Fort Lauderdale. I don't want to get all dressed up and head to Miami.
Okay. Now, the second office, you were working in for a little period of time, right? That evening. In other words, let me.
That was an awful.
You had a bunch of surgeries in that second office, right?
Yeah, they're usually packed.
And do you recall from a text message that around a little after 6, you were about to start a big procedure?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Now, at some point in time, you hear from your mom. How do you hear from your mom?
I had a missed call from her, one or two missed calls, and then she texted me, "Call us ASAP."
And why did you miss the calls? What were you doing?
I was in surgery.
Okay. After she texted you, call her ASAP, what did you do?
I stopped what I was doing. I could see the text messages on the phone as they come in, so I knew it was important. I stopped what I was doing, and I called her right back.
When you called her back, what did she tell you?
She told me that Wendy had just called her and that Dan had been shot and that it was serious and that her and my dad are going to be going up to Tallahassee to be with her.
How did you react?
I was shocked. I said, is he okay? Is he going to be okay? Are the boys okay? Are Wendy's okay? Like what happened?
And what did your mom tell you?
She said she didn't know any details, that it was really serious, and that Wendy's with the police right now and they're questioning her.
Now, after you got off the phone with your mom, what did you do?
I went back to work.
And did you have some communications with people after that through text messages about how you were feeling?
I did.
And generally speaking, how were you feeling?
I wasn't feeling great. I was pretty upset about what I just heard.
Now, around what time, if you remember, did you leave the office?
Probably about between 8:20 and 8:30.
Okay. And again, it's a pretty far drive, correct? Even at that time.
Yeah, there's no traffic at that time, so I can speed a little bit. But
On your car ride home, did you make phone calls?
yes, I did.
And in particular, and we'll do it one at a
Did
time,
Charlie make phone
did you speak with Catherine McBanawa?
Yes, I did.
And what did you tell Catherine McBanawa on your ride home?
I told her that my ex-brother-in-law had been shot, and it's serious. And I just told her I really didn't feel like going out tonight, and just hang out at the house if you still want to come over. She said, "No, definitely, I'm still coming to see you."
How did she seem?
Seemed normal. I mean, she seemed concerned, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Now, are you aware that after that phone call, Catherine Magbanua had to frantically go around and try to get a babysitter for her kids?
No, not at all.
No. Did you speak with your mom on the way home to your house?
Yeah, I called my parents also from the car.
And what did you find out from your parents?
That they were getting ready to leave, and that they were heading up to they were going to head up to Tallahassee, and that they were going to probably stop up in Orlando because it's late and they wouldn't get up there till. So they're going to spend the night in Orlando and then go up to Tallahassee.
Now, you've seen text messages in this case where there's some indication your mom says outside your house, and 20 minutes later, after that text message, you say 10 minutes. Do you recall those text messages?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Did you see your parents that evening?
No, not at all.
When your mom says outside your house, does that mean to you that she was actually at your house?
No, it meant that she was passing by my house outside it on the vicinity, seeing if I was home.
On the phone call that you had with your mom on the way home, did you discuss anything about your parents stopping at your house?
Yeah, I said, text me when you're close. If I'm home, stop by and see me, because my house is a football field length away from the exit of the turnpike.
And when they were close, were you anywhere near your house?
No, and I missed their text. I didn't get home for 40 minutes after that text came through.
When you got home, what did you do?
Lacey.
When I got home, I changed, took a shower. I took a shower, changed, and I played phone tag with Katie to see where she was at. I think I talked to her after I got out of the shower, and she was going to be heading over to hang out with me.
Where are her kids?
You have a text with your friend Mike that said you went to the gym. Do you have a gym? Did you go to the gym?
No.
Okay. Do you know if you worked out in your house that night?
I've got some workout equipment in the house, so I may very well have, but I didn't go to the gym that night.
Your friend Mike wanted to have dinner with you that night, right?
Yeah.
Now, when you get to the house, you said you called Katie after your shower. Why did you call her?
To see if she was still planning on coming over and what time she was going to be there, because it was already like 10:15.
And did she come to your house that night?
Yeah, she said she was going to be leaving shortly, and I think I even said either text me or call me when you're on your way.
Am I going?
Did she actually come to your house that evening?
Yes, she did.
Around what time did she arrive?
She got there about 11 o'clock.
What happened when she arrived?
When she arrived to my house, she came in through the garage, entered into the kitchen from the side door like she always does, and she just looked panicked and upset. And she walked straight in and gives me this big tight hug and asked me, like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Yeah, just a horrible day." But she looked more upset than I've ever seen her. I'm like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "No, I'm not." I'm like, "What's wrong?" She's like, "Just come sit down. I need to talk to you."
Where did you go?
We walked into the living room.
And what happened when you got to the living room?
We sat down on the couch, and she started to talk to me. And she said, "Listen, this is all my fault, but I had no idea anything was going to happen, but this is totally my fault. I spoke in too much detail about your family's personal problems, about your sister, Dan Markell, and the $1 million offer."
What did you say?
I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And she's like, "My friend killed Dan, and he wants to be paid a third of $1 million."
How did you react?
I was like, "What did you just say?" And she's like, "My friend killed Dan, and he wants you to pay a third of $1 million."
What happened next?
I stood up and I started cursing at her. I'm like, "What the fuck? Are you kidding?" And she's like, "No." I'm like, who did this? Who's your friend that did this? And she's like, "I don't want to say. I can't say." And I said, who was it? She just kept saying, "I'm not going to tell you." And I was like, was it Sigfredo? And she's like, "No, I'm not telling you." And I just walked in my bedroom and sat down on the edge of my bed.
What happened when you got in the bedroom?
She came into the bedroom, followed after me. She sat down next to me. She started telling me, like, "I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. But I didn't know any of this was going to happen." And I'm like, "Katie, I'm not going to be part of this shit. Like, I'm not going to be part of paying for a murder. This is insane." And she's like, "Look, if you don't pay in 48 hours, they will kill you." And I said, "Katie, I feel like I'm getting extorted now."
Yeah.
How did she respond to that?
She got really mad at me. She got angry. And she's like, "Look, I'm not extorting you." She's like, "I got dragged into this the same way you got dragged into this." She's like, "It's my fault for running my mouth the way I did, but I'm not extorting you. Like, I'm trying to help you." So she's like, she goes, "What are you going to do? You're going to go to the police?" She goes, "You go to the police, they'll kill you."
Did she tell you that they would just kill you, or they would also kill other people?
She said, "He'd come after you. He'd come after the family. Like, Charlie, you don't have a choice. Just pay the money. You said you had the cash. You said you were going to pay a third. Like, just do it. Like, I'm trying to help you out."
What did you do then?
I said, "Katie, I don't have a third of $1 million in cash." And she's like, "You said you did." And I was like, "No, I have cash and I can write a check for a third of $1 million. I don't need to take
So much doesn't make sense.
And she's like, "Well, you have a ton of money in your safe." And I said, "Katie, I don't have that much in my safe. I do have a lot." And I said, "Come take a look." And I walked over to my safe. I opened it up. I'm like, "Here, take a look." I took it out in piles and put it on the dresser next to us. And I said, "Go ahead and count. That's not a third of $1 million."
And did she count it?
Yes, she did.
How much money did she count?
138,000.
So it wasn't 100,000, it was 138,000.
Correct.
What did she do with $138,000?
She put it in her. She had a big purse. She put it in her purse, and she asked me. She goes, how can you get the rest?" And I'm like, "Hey, that's all the cash I've saved up from forever." And she said, "Can you go to your parents and get it?" And I was like, "If I go to my parents, my dad will go to the cops in a second. Like, there's no way I'm going to be able to stop my dad from going to the police. Like, I could never say anything to him."
What happened next?
She asked me. She said, "Well, can you pay like $3,000 a month?" And I said, "Yeah, I can do that."
Now, at this point in time, did you have any idea that she was part of the extortion?
No. She kept saying it was all her fault and that she didn't know any of this was going to happen. And she was upset.
What did she do next?
Yeah.
She took her purse, her keys, and her phone. And she's like, "I'm going to go call my friend and see if this works for him. And I'm going to try to help you out." And she walked out of the house, and my bedroom was right next to the front door. She walked out of my bedroom outside of the front door and closed the door behind her.
When she went out of the house, what did you do?
I just paced around my house, and I remember sitting in the living room. I got a wood coffee table, and I was just sitting on the coffee table, just in shock, thinking, "What the fuck just happened?"
What happened when she came back in the house?
She came in the house, and she was being the good guy and telling me that she's going to look out after me, and she's so sorry this happened. It's the same thing she was saying beforehand, and that she was going to make sure that nobody pays me a visit. And she's like, "I spoke to him. You can pay $3,000 a month, or you can pay the rest off." She goes, "But the $3,000 a month you're paying doesn't go towards the balance."
What did you do after she told you that?
That's a horrible
I said,
arrangement,
"Fine."
by the way.
And I walked downstairs into the kitchen, and I was shaking, and I took a bar of Xanax,
Where did you go?
and I walked outside from the kitchen through the sliders into the backyard. I closed the sliding glass door behind me. I think she got the picture. I wanted to be alone. And I just sat outside behind my house for a while.
What does that even
Now-
mean?
When you came back into the house, what was she like?
She was just apologizing, just telling me that her friend's crazy and she's so sorry, and she ran her mouth too much about everything, about the $1 million offer. And she was telling me that she was going to protect me.
Did she take a Xanax as well?
I don't know if she did. She may have, but I didn't give her one.
Did she spend the night that night?
She did sleep over that night.
Now, why didn't you kick her out?
I was in a state of shock, and I didn't think she had anything to do with it. I didn't even want to believe that she had anything to do with it.
When you came back in the house, what happened to you next?
The Xanax was really starting to set in. It's probably about a half hour I was outside. I remember going into the bedroom and sitting down. I sent a text to my parents to see if they were up in Orlando yet or where they were. And then I laid down in bed and I passed out pretty soon after that.
Thank you.
The next morning, when did she leave?
She left about 8:30 in the morning.
And how was she in the morning? How was she acting?
She was apologizing and telling me how sorry she is. And she was blaming herself and saying it's all my fault for running my mouth and telling my friend about this. And she was just telling me that she was going to protect me and that I wasn't going to get a visit from anybody.
What did she tell you anything in particular before she left the house?
Yeah, she told me, "Whatever you do," she said, "please don't tell anybody about what happened. Like, don't tell anybody about this. I don't never talk about this. Never talk about it on the phone." She said, "Never call me up and start talking about this." And the last thing she said to me is like, can we just pretend like this never even happened?"
She leaves the house, and we're going to get into specifics, but that day, July 19th, where do you go?
I don't leave the house. I was home all day.
What were you thinking and what were you doing when you were home on the 19th?
I was sleeping a bunch. I think I took probably some more Xanax, trying to relax, and I was just real upset.
That
Look
morning,
at what this.
did you speak with your parents and with Wendy Adelson?
I did. I talked to my parents that morning.
And what did you find out?
I found out that Dana died
And why did you call Wendy Adelson?
because that was the first call I called after my parents told me that, to see how she was, see how the boys were.
Now, you're home alone the entire day of the 19th. Did you think about going to the police?
I thought about it, but I thought I'm going to get killed if I go to the police. It's not going to bring Dan back. It just seemed like a bad idea.
Over the days following, did you continue to go back and forth about whether to go to the police or not?
Every time I thought about it, I thought through what could happen to me, what would be the benefit versus the pros versus the cons.
And why didn't you go to the police?
I thought if I went to the police that they'd kill me.
Uh-huh.
Now, there are some text messages into evidence on the 19th. Text messages between you and Catherine Magbanua. I think there's 3 of them. Do you recall those text messages?
Yeah, we texted during the day.
And there are text messages about the weather and pool and Catherine Magbanua going to the pool. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
What are those text messages about?
I was trying to show her that I was trying to pretend like this didn't even happen. Like, I think one of the texts said I'm going to the gym. I didn't go to the gym that day. My phone will show I never left my house.
Okay, Einstein. So what was the point?
Now, you say that she said that you could pay all at once or you could pay $3,000 a month. That's what her friend would accept, right?
Yes.
Did you think about paying it all at once?
I thought about it. I thought, if I'll do it and it'll get these people out of my life forever. But then I thought, this is extortion. One thing I know about extortion is it never ends. So if I paid it all at once, I thought it may be more of a reason that they come kill me. Or if I pay it all off, they're going to come back and ask for more money.
In the days following the extortion, did your sleeping habits change?
Yes.
What did you start doing?
I slept with a gun in my nightstand ever since then.
While taking
And I started
Xanax.
carrying my gun on me also.
I'm showing you it's marked for identification purposes only as Defendant's Exhibit 51 and Defendant's Exhibit 52. Can I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Take a look at this. Do you recognize those items?
I do.
Judge, I would move Defendant's Exhibit 51 and 52. Well, before I move to 52, the 52 are some text messages. Are those text messages that you recognize that you kept in your ordinary course of dealings with text messages?
Yes. I do.
I would move in at this time 51 and 52.
Any objection from the state?
I have not reviewed these.
Please let Ms. Keppelman look at 51 and 52.
Like run into the gym, take a photo of me on the treadmill, run out. That's about the extent of the working out that I do.
No objection, Your Honor.
Just kidding.
Offense
You won't
51 and 52 are admitted at this time.
on a treadmill.
Now, on within 11 days after your extortion,
Walk a lot.
did you do anything in particular to your house and to the Adelson Institute?
Yes, I did.
What did you do?
A few days after it happened, I called up a camera guy and I got a whole set of cameras installed in my house
Oh,
and in my office, like pointing out to the parking lot also.
Judge, may I public?
not a videographer, a security man. But why am I not surprised that Charlie would be like, "Oh, I called a cameraman"? Sir, this is not the 6 o'clock news. Hi, Nicole. I was thinking about you today,
I'm showing you what's
Florida.
marked as. Judge, let me show you. Rich.
It's going to be 73 degrees on.
I'm showing you what's marked as Defendant's Exhibit 51. Is this a check for the cameras?
Yes, it is.
And how much did you pay for the camera system?
I paid $2,140.
And what date was the check made out for?
7/30/2014.
And in the memo line, what does it say?
It says camera.
I'm showing you some text messages from a couple days earlier. And these are text messages between you and your parents and you and camera Adriel. Who's camera Adriel?
Adriel is the name of the guy who installed the cameras, so I just put his name in my phone as camera, so it's easy to look up. Camera Adriel.
And here are you indicating
Not
that
security.
you put cameras in your house as well as the Adelson Institute?
Yeah, that's why there's 2 DVRs. There was one for the house and there was one for the office, and it's 23 cameras in total.
Why did you think it was so important to put all of a sudden a camera system?
It was I was worried about my safety. I fully expected these people to come back and possibly try to kill me. So I just wanted to beef up my security system in the house and the office.
Okay, I want to switch gears a teeny bit. What was your sister like in the weeks following the murder?
She was a wreck. She looked horrible. She didn't leave the house. She wasn't eating.
Before we go into that subject, I want to bring one other thing about the cameras. Are there text messages earlier in the year where your parents are asking you to put up cameras at the Adelson Institute?
We talked about it. And I actually had a camera system at my house, but it was older and it was antiquated. And it didn't work really good. It was from like 2008, so the technology was 6-7 years old.
Those text messages earlier in the year to put up a camera system at the office, had you ever acted upon that?
No, we talked about it, but I never got around to it.
It's not until within a week or so after you're extorted that you act upon that, correct?
Yeah, I called the camera guy about 3 or 4 days after I got extorted, and it took him like a week to get the cameras and to set up an appointment to install it.
Let me ask you another question. And we're going to get to your mom learning what happened. But before we get there, after you were extorted, did you tell anyone about what happened to you?
No, I told nobody.
Why not?
Katie told me before she left my house that morning, she's like, "You cannot talk to anybody about this. Don't ever talk about this with anyone. Don't ever talk on the phone about it. Don't even talk to me about this ever again. Like, nobody can find out, but I'm going to protect you."
Let's get back to Wendy.
Yeah.
So I think you said Wendy was a mess.
Yeah.
Did there come a time when you went out to dinner with your sister?
Yes.
Do we believe that?
And how long
Like,
after the murder was that?
are we sure?
I'd say it was about 2 weeks after, maybe even a hair more, but around about 2 weeks.
And what happened when you went out to dinner with her?
I picked her up. I said, what do you feel like getting? You want to get pizza? You want to get sushi? And she's like, I love sushi. So I said, all right, I'll take you to I'll take you to a really good place for sushi.
Where did you go?
We went to a restaurant called Juvia. And it's actually a pretty fancy sushi place.
Probably where he met most
What
of his
happened during the
girlfriends.
dinner?
She got really sick. When we got to the restaurant, we didn't have a reservation or anything. They sat us at the bar. They served us to drink at the bar. It was really sure it was one of those like martinis that had like 3 shots in them, so they're strong. And then we sat at the dinner table.
Were you drinking and celebrating the death of Professor Markel?
Absolutely not. We sat at the bar waiting for a table for an hour, and then when we sat at the table, we each had 1 drink.
Now, I want to move on to August. Well, before we get there, sorry. In July, did you break up with Catherine McBanawell?
Yes.
How did you break up with her?
I will mention really quickly, this will be my only time in doing so. I am using one of the Shadow Sense colors. Here, so I can see myself. Shadow Sense. This is a waterproof, smudge-proof makeup that I use. This is my, here. These are some of my shadows that I regularly use. I have a whole bunch in a bag over here. Anyways, you can use the shadows as a concealer, as a bronzer, as a blush, obviously as a eyeshadow to fill in your brows, on your lips, as a liner, and it is guaranteed to not budge. So if you saw me last night on Jessica Machado's stream, I was pretty tearful. That's understatement of the year. And my makeup wasn't coming off. So I got married wearing this makeup in 110-degree weather in Jamaica. So it's sweat proof, it's everything proof. So this is what I've had this business for 7 years. And if you are interested, I don't believe it's on the video description today, if my memory serves me correct, but it is when you go to my YouTube, you can see a link to get a discount and where to shop. So had to mention that at some point, figured I would do it now. Thanks, guys.
This happened on a Friday night, and I'd say within a week, I met her. I said, "Come, let's have dinner," and we went out for tacos. And I said, like, "We can't do this anymore. I don't want to be in a relationship with you."
How did she react?
I think she knew it was coming. I mean, there was no surprise on her part.
Now, in August, did you see her?
I saw her one time in August.
Why did you see her in August?
I saw her one time in August to pay her $3,000 for her friend.
When you paid her the money in August, how did you pay her?
I paid her $3,000 in cash.
And at this point in time, did you know that she was actually part of the extortion?
No, I thought she was not part of it. I was a little suspicious, but she just kept telling me that how sorry she was, and she was adamant that she had nothing to do with it and didn't know this was going to happen.
When you gave her the cash in August, did she make any request of you?
Yes, she did.
What request did she make?
She said, "Look, none of this money's going to her. She's giving all the money to her friend." She said, "Can you do me a favor? I need to get health insurance for my kids. Like, I'm helping you out. Nobody's going to ever pay you a visit. Can you give me $2,000 in cash for my friend and write me a check for $1,000 every month?" And that way she said she'll cash it, give the money to her friend, and then that way she can get health insurance for her kids.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. She says to you she needs health insurance for her kids.
Mm-hmm.
And she says to you, "I'm getting none of the money at all."
Yeah, she said none of this is going to her.
But it would really help me if 1,000 of the $3,000 can be in the form of being on the books of your business, essentially. Yes. And did you say to her, "Catherine, we just did a murder. I can't put you on the books of the business because that creates a paper trail"?
No, we didn't just do a murder. I just got extorted.
Now, What did you say to her when she made you that request?
Oh my God. Did his lawyer just slip up?
She knew it was coming. I mean, there was no surprise on her part.
Now, in August,
Here.
did you see her?
I saw her one time in August.
Why did you see her in August?
I saw her one time in August to pay her $3,000 for her friend.
When you paid her the money in August, how did you pay her?
I paid her $3,000 in cash.
And at this point in time, did you know that she was actually part of the extortion?
No, I thought she was not part of it. I was a little suspicious, but she just kept telling me that how sorry she was, and she was adamant that she had nothing to do with it and didn't know this was going to happen.
When you gave her the cash in August, did she make any request of you?
Yes, she did.
What request did she make?
She said, look, none of this money's going to her. She's giving all the money to her friend. She said, can you do me a favor? I need to get health insurance for my kids. Like, I'm helping you out. Nobody's going to ever pay you a visit. Can you give me $2,000 in cash for my friend and write me a check for $1,000 every month? And that way, she said she'll cash it, give the money to her friend, and then that way she can get health insurance for her kids.
Okay, so let's break that down a little bit. She says to you she needs health insurance for her kids, and she says to you, I'm getting none of the money at all.
Yeah, she said none of this is going to her.
But it would really help me if 1,000 of the $3,000 can be in the form of being on the books of your business, essentially. Yes. And did you say to her, Catherine, we just did a murder. I can't put you on the books of the business because that creates a paper trail.
No, we didn't just do a murder. I just got extorted.
Now, what did you say to her when she made you that request?
I said, I'll do it for you. No problem. I wanted to keep her happy.
Now, before you did that for her, what did you have to do?
I had to call my mom because she does the books at the office. I don't even have the checkbook. And I called her up and I said, I want to put Katie on payroll at the office for $1,000 a month.
When you called your mom, what did she say to you?
She said, was Katie going to be coming into the office? She's going to start working for us. And I said, no, she's not. And she's like, well, what's Katie going to be doing? And I go, oh, she's just going to be helping me out with some stuff and different things. It's a long story. And I think my mom was someplace when I was talking to her on her cell phone because she didn't question me much after that.
Did you make any special request to your mom about how the checks would be made?
Yes, I did.
What was your request to your mom?
I said, put them as like, give me like 4 or 5 checks at a time because I just want to hand them to her.
That's not my son
So write me a bundle of checks at a time.
Why did you want your mom to give you a bundle of checks at a time?
Because I only planned on seeing her one time a month, and that was to make the extortion payment. So I figured if I gave her 4 or 5 checks each time, that's all I planned on seeing her.
Now, sometimes did you give her less than 4 or 5 checks at a time?
Not that I can recall.
Now, did there come a time when you went to go pick up the checks from your mom?
Yes.
And where did you go to pick up the checks?
I went to my parents' apartment.
And who was there when you came to pick up the checks?
My mom was there, and I don't think my dad was there at the time. He wasn't there at that time.
Was he there or wasn't he?
She was alone. There was no one else there.
Now, when you went to go pick up the checks, what happened and what do you remember?
I remember walking in, saying hi to my mom, and she's like, oh, the checks are over there on the counter like you asked for. And I saw there was a white envelope and there was a stack of checks sitting there. And she said, what's Katie doing for you? And I thought we'd already addressed it, but she's working at the office. And I'm like, no, I told you she's not. She's like, well, $1,000 a month is a lot of money to pay somebody. And she's like, what exactly is she doing for you? And I said, it's a long story. And then she said, well, I'm your mom. Like, tell me. Like, don't just tell me it's a long story. So this time she was like, and I was face to face with her, and she was more persistent in asking me, what the heck's going on? Are you still dating her? And I'm like, no, we're definitely not dating anymore. She's like, well, why are you giving her $1,000 a month? This makes no sense.
What happened next?
I told my mom, I wanted to tell somebody because if I get killed, at least somebody will know where to look or what it could have been about. So I wanted my mom to know what happened, but I also didn't want her saying anything to anybody. So I told my mom, I said, listen, I'm going to tell you something, but I never want to talk about it again. I never want you to talk to me about it on the phone. Don't talk about it anywhere. And please, whatever you do not say anything to Dad. Do not say anything to Wendy. Do not try to make me go to the police because I'm not going. You got to promise me all that, and then I'll tell you.
And what did you tell your mom?
I told her that the night of the 18th, I got extorted for $250,000.
How did your mom react?
She flipped out. She's like, what do you mean? Like, what is this about? Like, you know who killed Dan?
What did she want to do?
She wanted to go to the police.
And what did you tell her?
I said, absolutely not. I said, it's not going to bring Dan back. You're just going to end up getting me killed, or it'll come after somebody in the family.
what was agreed upon between you and your mom that evening?
That she was never going to say anything to anybody.
How about to your dad?
That, not my dad, not my sister.
Why were you so persistent with your mom that she couldn't tell your dad or your sister?
Because I thought they'd go to the police. I didn't think there'd be any way to stop them. These people told me that. I mean, I was told the night of the extortion, you got 48 hours to pay up or you're going to get killed. These people were not messing around.
Now, your mom gives you the checks, the first set of checks
Yes.
that day?
Yes.
And do you remember what month that was?
That was in September.
After she gave you those checks, would you periodically have to meet with your mom and get more checks?
Yeah, but not. I didn't even realize the staff got paid bi-weekly, so they got their checks every 2 weeks. So when I'd asked her for 4 or 5 checks, I was thinking like that would be good for the month. I didn't realize that was going to be like, 8-10 weeks.
Did your mom bring this subject up again?
She would ask me, "Are you okay?" She asked me, "Do you need anything?" She asked, "Do you need money?" I'm like, "No, I don't want you guys getting involved. It's bad enough that I'm involved in this."
For the next 20 months, what did you do with regards to money and Catherine Magbanua?
Every single month, when I met her, I gave her $2,000 and the stack of checks for to carry her forward.
And again, what did you think she was doing with those checks?
I thought she was cashing the checks and giving the $3,000 to her friend.
Now, we've heard a lot about gifts. We've heard about Lexus with 160,000 miles. We've heard about plane tickets.
Oh no.
We've heard about, I guess, breast augmentation, but let's put that aside. I think that's a different category. We've heard about a whole host of gifts regarding over the next 20 months, you giving a bunch of gifts to Catherine Magbanua. You recall that testimony in this courtroom?
Yes, I do.
The gifts that you gave to Catherine Magbanua, was that part of the extortion? Were those extortion payments?
No, not at all.
What were the gifts?
The gifts were me trying to keep Katie happy. And I didn't think Katie was any part of this extortion at all because she was constantly broke. I mean, she'd be hitting me up for $300. I mean, there's no way that she was getting that $3,000 and then asking me for $300 or running short on this or running short on that or can't pay a car bill.
So I want to make sure that we're crystal clear here. The fact that she was always saying she was broke, did that make you more certain or less certain that she was not part of the extortion?
It made me more certain that there's no way that she's involved. I mean, she's telling the truth. The extortion never went up. I mean, she could have just raised the extortion payment instead of having to ask me for money. Every time she was asking me for money, I actually felt good. I felt like she wasn't part of it.
You have one moment, Ronnie?
Take your time.
God all day. What are you guys doing for the long weekend? Anything fun? Or Valentine's Day? I forgot. Saturday is Valentine's Day.
Showing you Defendant's Exhibit 56 and 57 for identification purposes only. Do you recognize these text messages?
I do.
One of those text messages from December 2nd, 2014,
Yes, it is.
and is one of them from November 25, 2015.
Yes, it is.
Are these text messages, do you recognize them as being kept in your ordinary course of business?
Yeah, there's text messages from my phone.
Judge, I would move in these exhibits at this point in time.
Any objection?
No objection.
They are admitted at this time. Defense 56 and 57, I believe.
Yes. May I publish, Your Honor?
You may.
The first message is from December 2nd, 2014, Defendant's Exhibit 56. And Katie is, oh, wait.
Just wait for it to reload it.
Go away. Do it a different way. I'm going to make everyone sick. Do you recall her asking for a favor that she needs to borrow from you in December of 2014?
Yes.
Do you recall in November of 2015, she's talking about how she's embarrassed because her credit card was declined?
That old lady said, yeah.
Ooh.
Now, as time went on, let me back up. After the extortion, you break up with her
Yes.
and you see her only once a month or so.
It was once a month, except for the occasion of maybe there's one other time, 1 or 2 times.
Now, your communications with her in August and September, and maybe the first part to most of October of 14, through text messaging, do they dwindle, stay the same, or go up?
No, I was trying to have limited contact with her.
And as time goes on, however, what happens to your relationship?
I become more sure that she's not part of the extortion at all. And it really what I was going by is how broke she was. There's no way she got all this money and she's so broke and she's still working. And we became friendly again. Our relationship was very different, but it was different but stronger because I needed her for my safety.
Okay. And so you've seen some of the emails, and I'm sure the state will show you a bunch of these emails in cross-examination where it's clear in the emails that you're learning a lot about each other. You're texting each other somewhat. You're talking as if you're friends.
Feel better.
We were friends. We weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. That ended, but she was protecting me.
Now, during this entire period of time before the bump, we're not at the bump yet. During this entire period of time, did she ever tell you who was extorting you?
No.
Did you have a pretty good idea of who it was, though?
I did. I absolutely did.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Yeah, it seems like it would be a fun thing to do. They only go out for 2 hours though. So, and I don't know if it'll be like more expensive with it being Valentine's Day. So if it is, then we'll probably do something else. But there's a lot of options.
Before we get to the bump,
The bump.
yesterday we heard a call, which is SX130, where your mom and you are showing your love for Wendy's boyfriend, who she doesn't love, Dave. Do you recall that?
Dave, yeah.
Was your mom involved in Wendy's life?
Yeah, she was involved, but I mean, she cared a lot about her. I mean, she was her mom.
Now, during that call, you talk about how Professor Markel's death was a tragedy. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Did you have any idea at that point in time that you were being listened to by the police?
No idea. I was driving home and I was in the car for a long time, so I was just talking to my mom about everything.
Now, during that call, there is some discussion about Wendy winning the lottery. If you look at the context of the call in its entirety, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to meeting Dave. Dave was a one-of-a-kind catch guy that I liked him a lot. I guess I liked him more than my sister did. But he was a great catch. He was super successful. He used to work for a government agency.
It works out that way
a
sometimes.
tremendous amount of money. But most importantly, like, he really loved my sister. He really loved my nephews who don't have a dad anymore. And I mean, even on that call, I was talking about like a 6-year-old farting on his head. I was over there. The kid was farting on his head, and he laughed. It didn't bother him. So I thought he was a great guy. He actually even met the Markel's band's parents once with my sister when they were visiting the boys. I mean, he was just a great guy, and it was my sister's birthday. That's why there was so much chatter caught about Dave, because I don't think she was inviting him or something. So that's why he became a topic of conversation. The Wire was from April, and my sister's birthday's in April. So those are probably the most amount of Dave calls I've ever had in my life. But the FBI captured a bunch of Dave calls.
By the way, I saw you get a little emotional there. Do you love your nephews?
Of course.
Would you ever take their father away from them?
No, never in a million years.
Judge, may we approach this briefly?
You may.
Maybe and I have been racking our brains over this YouTube stuff. Like, it's wild. If worse comes to worse, we may just have to like replay, like she said, replay the Jodi Arias, because I'm going to be done with this shortly. We're on day 6 of this trial, and there were 9 days. So I don't know.
For the jury, we're going to take our lunch break at this point this morning. Once again, you're going to receive the same instruction that you've gotten since jury selection. Do not discuss the case with each other or anyone else. Do not seek out any news coverage or any information pertaining to the case. We will resume with the testimony of Mr. Adelson at 1:30. Please report back by 1:20.
I was looking to see. Okay. Do they argue over anything? Nah.
We have a better sense of timing on this. Are you planning to go through all calls or just selected calls?
I'm not planning on playing all calls. I am planning on going through a lot of calls, but not playing them all. And we probably will be adding, I think, 1 or 2 calls as well.
Ooh,
Well,
he seems
do you intend to
happy.
finish with your direct by at least the mid-afternoon?
How long was I up there right now?
Let's say it took the morning.
I have no idea, Your Honor. I anticipate this could go all day, but maybe it'll go. Maybe it's going a little quicker than I had anticipated. To be honest with you, I know that's surprising, but I would think it's gonna. I would think that it's gonna go at least another. Nah, it'll be a while. It may leak into tomorrow.
All right. Unless either party has anything further to raise, we'll be in recess. Please report back at 1:20. Seated.
Computer setup.
Before we bring in the jurors, there was one thing that I needed to address with the gallery. I believe during the testimony, there was some head shaking going on. This is precisely the thing that I advised
wow.
everyone about before. Regardless of your own personal opinion of what is coming from the witness stand, do not make any gestures, do not make any motions, do not move your head in a way that
Okay.
otherwise suggests you agree or disagree. The jurors have to make up their minds based on the evidence. There cannot be any outside influence coming into that process. For anyone who cannot abide by this, the bailiffs are going to remove you. This is the last time I'm going to address this topic. Mr. Rauschbaum.
Judge, 2 things. First of all, I just need 1 second to set up the computer.
Go ahead.
And also, if we could approach on a new attempted exhibit.
This is from the prior composite.
Yes.
You may.
Give a copy to the state as well. Just taking-
So I was doing some Googling last night and I saw that Donna, his mom, hired the same exact attorney. And long story short, due to a conflict of interest, she had to find a new attorney, a new defense attorney, like really far into the process.
Portions of it that are quote unquote irrelevant. There are prior objections. We will keep for the record.
Yeah.
Rule on this, I'm glad you brought that up because there was one additional matter I wanted to place on the record concerning the composites as well. Given the composition of the jury, which contains certain members of a minority group which may find offensive subject matter that was in part contained in those composites, this is in part the court's ruling to protect the defendant from any unfair prejudice caused by either his words or the words of those communicating with him. As to the new edited version, does the state have a position?
Yes, Your Honor, I would raise the same objection, hearsay and relevance. These are text messages offered to prove that the defendant didn't text about the murder. There's been no allegation that he texted about the murder. It's not challenged. It's been testified to. This is evidence to prove it. It contains the right amount of relevant hearsay. So I would object.
Mr. Rauschbaum, were these statements ever inquired with Ms. McBenoit or specifically presented to her?
Yes.
Which ones?
The one about the fight the day before, the ones about the fight the day before, but not kind of. I think the short answer is not directly. They're not going toward, our argument wouldn't be towards impeachment. Our argument would be going towards state of mind, Your Honor. Charlie Adelson's state of mind. I know that the state doesn't want the jury to be able to see the evidence, but it's the exact same evidence that they have put in regarding.
Save it for them.
phone records.
The audience of one on this topic is also an attorney. I understand these matters. All right. As to this specifically, the fight I will deem is admissible. The other portions, I'm still going to sustain the objection as to relevance and hearsay. The text on the fight, I believe this would be 7/18/2014, starting at 13:09. And then those would end at 18:20. The other portions, the prior ruling.
We're all adults.
May I make one additional argument for the record?
Go ahead.
So the state has put in a phone record in which they talk about a pattern of calls. These emails explain why there are those pattern of calls. These text messages explain that. So for instance, they bring in calls on their sheet, regard their CDRs on the evening of the 16th, calls with Catherine McBanoit. Those calls relate to Mr. Adelson having dinner with Erica Johnson. It explains those calls. Similarly, they bring in calls on the 17th and 18th that relate to these text messages. In other words, the text messages explain. I'll give you an example. Call me ASAP, and then there's a call, right? So it gives context to their very evidence. It explains to the jury why these calls are happening. They're highly relevant, and to not allow it in, I think, is prejudicial against Mr. Adelson.
Well, as it relates to the fight, I believe the 718 messages between himself and Ms. McManawa cover that territory, do they not?
They do, but their argument is going to be that that's not what they're speaking about that night. The text messages are from the next day, right?
No one is going to be permitted on either side, excuse me, to present any factual issue out of proper context. Now, I believe, as it's been presented already through the direct, your client testified to them having a fight. This otherwise demonstrates his state of mind and shows what was going on the day of the murder, which is relevant. Getting further into the fight, which doesn't go to the elements or any other matter, why again is this relevant?
It's relevant because they have a chart that shows that Charlie calls Katie at 12:45 in the morning. I'm making up times. Katie calls Sigfredo at 12:50 in the morning. Charlie calls Katie. These text messages show what the calls are about. Now, I was able to ask my client the question on the stand. These text messages are corroboration for him.
Any further argument, Ms. Keppelman, as the context for the 716 text?
Argument that the text messages show what the content of a phone call was?
The context of what was happening on 716.
No, sir. I don't think we're disputing that they appear to have had an argument on 716. I don't remember that being an issue in the case, so I'll stick with my prior objection.
All right, over the state's objection, the text between the defendant and Ms. McManawa will be admitted on 718. As far as the other texts, the court is not going to admit them on grounds of relevance and hearsay. Any other matters to address before the jurors come in?
Not from the state, Your Honor.
Mr. Rauschbaum,
Computer working? I don't think so, Your Honor.
please bring in the jurors.
Should I have Mr. Adelson take the stand first?
Yes, come on up, Mr. Adelson.
Yes.
I had a Amazon package delayed today, and the fury I felt. So, depending on that package today. Oh, okay. What's the name?
Everyone can be seated. Mr. Rauschbaum, you may continue with your examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. Okay, Charlie. You're aware of something called the bump, correct?
Yes, I am.
No.
And you're aware that as a result of the bump, a whole host of calls happen after, correct?
Yes.
Judge, I promise not to play every call, but we're going to play some. So at this point in time, permission to publish already in evidence, State Exhibit A.
Please proceed.
Come on, we want to hear it. Thank you. I love your enthusiasm. I'll have to look into it. What's the issue?
Technology.
Okay.
Take your time. Before they'll sit through it again.
The volume. just see if I can adjust the volume.
Here we go.
I don't want to like fast forward it, you know, like every time I do that, it gets okay. Dude took off his jacket. Okay, that was too long. Hold on. I want to hear what they say.
Let's see how it sounds. How about that?
We can hear it.
I have normal hearing. I guess let's.
It's up to you. I mean, does it sound like you can hear it?
Mr. Adelson, are you having any difficulty with hearing what's coming out of the speaker?
I can hear pretty good.
All right, let's do a test run for the jurors. If they're fine with listening to the speaker, we'll move on. If not, they can put back on their headsets. I don't want to spend much time messing around with the headsets either.
It's all working. So maybe you just, if they want to use a headset, they can. If they don't want to, they don't have to.
All right, please bring them in.
Okay, I'm glad that I fast forwarded. Huh. Well, I'll spend some time looking over that case this weekend. Because we're definitely going to be finished with this by tomorrow.
You're entering courtroom.
Everyone can be seated. Members of the jury, we're going to test the speaker first to determine whether you can clearly hear the audio coming out of the speaker. If you can clearly hear the audio, please give a thumbs up. If not, you'll have the option of putting back on your headsets. I believe where is their audio ability to change their volume levels? Okay. Does everyone understand how to operate the volume switch? Please test away, Mr. Rauschbaum.
Test it first.
So, you know, it's a fun tonight after work or some other fun in the very near future. Okay. Just tell them a letter you or something?
Okay.
Okay, everyone's good? All right. We're not going to do the screen. That's just causing some more problems. All right.
Continue at your own peril, but you may continue.
So, Charlie, I'm going to play for you call A. This is a call on April 19th, 2016, 2:09 p.m. It's the first call with your mom after the bump. Okay?
So, you know, it's a fun tonight after work or some other fun in the very near future. Okay. Just tell them a letter you or something? You're being sued? No.
This idiot.
Okay. So, well, I'm in Mitch Klein's office. on Park Boulevard. So I'm right now in Silent Chili, and I'll be at his office in the afternoon. The boys will finish the piano lesson around the porch, and they track it, and they take a ride with them up there. Did Dad know about this? The dad didn't work today, fortunately. What's the IRS? You know, the IRS people, they kind of thought it was sometimes, but unfortunately not. Okay. So I will talk to you. I'll give you a heads up if I'm going to drive up that way. Okay. And just want you know that? No. So let me just talk to you later. And what is it? Is there help with that? No. Does it involve me or other people? No.
He really like.
What's that?
Probably the two of them. So probably the general. So let's just find some time to
Screwed himself with this.
You didn't take a look at that?
I remember that case.
Tomorrow? I'll be up in this client's office. Oh, yeah, so really like. I'm just concerned that I can get up there and get that and into this and push this up. I think proof people would have I see that much great. He doesn't rank with anonymous or? Oh no, not anonymous. I just don't want to be separate. Right, whatever it is. I was silly, but I didn't bother you. Yeah, I know. You want me to come down to see tomorrow? I have the day off. Yes, that would be wonderful. That actually starts later tomorrow. You know, because at 1 o'clock, people go out of the gym from 9:30 to 10:30. So whatever it is, I'll take a look at the paperwork. Yeah, I hope it's not the IRS. I just like you to review it.
Why is he so concerned about the IRS?
Okay, so come down tomorrow. Dad leaves at 12, so anytime after 12 is good. 12 tomorrow. No, he leaves at 12. He starts at 1 back, so 12, 12:15. I'll come in the afternoon. That's encouraged. Perfect. I'll talk to you later. Let me come down.
Charlie, where are you when this call happens?
I'm at Skyline Chili, eating a bowl of chili.
Your mom says that she had some paperwork delivered to her.
The best
Do you
food
have any
ever.
clue what she's talking about?
I have no clue what she's talking about.
What do you guess?
I thought it was the IRS.
That's literally my
What else do
favorite
you
food.
Is everyone's health okay?
Do you think it has anything to do with either your extortion or Professor Markel's murder at this point in time?
No, not at all.
Why are you asking so many questions?
My mom, I know my mom my whole life. She's talking weird on the phone. She's like something's obvious. I can tell something's bothering her, but she's beating around the bush.
Now,
Oh.
your mom says, you say, does it involve me or other people? And your mom responds, well, probably both of us, probably the two of us. So you probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about. And I want to focus on those statements. Okay. When she says that to you, did you have any clue what she was talking about?
No, I think I asked her a few more questions after that.
Now, as the calls progress, do you know what she's talking about?
By the time I got to the end of the third call, I knew exactly what she was talking. I felt like I knew pretty much what she was talking about.
By that point in time, and I want to go back to this line, does it involve me or other people? Her answer, well, probably both of us, probably the two of us. So you probably have a general idea of what I'm talking about. By the end of figuring out what this was, what did you understand her to be saying here?
By the time I got down to the third call, I realized fully what she was talking about in this call, in that she's getting extorted.
And so why the two of us?
She knows I was extorted 2 years earlier, and it's the same people that are coming to extort her for money. So she's trying to say like it's the same thing that happened to you is happening to me.
And just to be clear, about a month and a half after the extortion of you, who did you tell?
My mom. She's the only person I told.
Now, when she says it's probably the both of us, probably the two of us, you understand the state's theory is that this murder conspiracy was, in addition to Katie, Sigfredo, and Luis Rivera, you, your mom, your dad, your sister. Do you understand that?
I do now, yeah.
She doesn't say probably the four of us, does she?
No, she's not.
She doesn't say all of us, does she?
No.
She says the two of us, right?
Yeah.
Now, the bump, what was the bump?
The bump was an extortion from Latin King gang members, or actually it was the FBI pretending to be Latin King gang members.
Now, on this call, there's discussion about your dad's schedule. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Why was it important? Why do you learn later that it was important what your dad's schedule was?
Because my dad never knew what happened to me, and my mom was going to want to talk to me when my dad wasn't around.
If we could go to B, which is a call right after, and it's you calling your mom back. May I publish, Your Honor?
Hey, how are you? Okay. Good. Is it me not paying the sun pass? I'm kidding. No, listen, what was I going to say? Do you mind paying my Brown & Brown insurance? No. Okay, because I'm going to stick with the same company. Yeah, but the thing is, if you stay with the same company for 3 years, they can then try to bump you down into lower bracket. Oh, okay. So I might as well stay with them and then hope that it's actually true that they can do what you said about putting you in a lower bracket. Okay. You want me to call him, Paul? Yeah, because I told her that my mom would call her because she's handles that stuff at the office. Okay. And then just send them a check. Because they have to have it before, I want to say the 29th or something. Okay. But I do that. And listen, whatever it is, whatever someone sent you, I wouldn't worry too much about anything.
Idiot.
I mean, so someone can write whatever they want to write, say whatever they want to say, and I'm not worried. So, was it another bad review on Yelp?
Another.
Sometimes they look at it. But I'm not being sued. No. Okay. All right. Honestly, whatever it is, and I wouldn't just judge it from what it makes it sound like. I wouldn't stress it out too much. Okay. Yeah. Listen, people can always write. People can always say anything they want. It doesn't. Someone says you're a bad dentist, it doesn't mean you're a bad dentist. So, but anyway, I'll definitely come down. It actually worked out perfectly with the day off. Okay. So I'll make you take me out to dinner. I'll make sure you bring cash with you. All right. Okay. Do I need to bring cash? Yeah, if I keep you taking me out to dinner,
I want to pause it there.
So cringe.
You call your mom back and you start talking about the Sun Pass. Does that have anything to do with this case, the Sun Pass? Is it code?
Sun Pass is not code.
Why do you mention the Sun Pass?
Because a couple weeks earlier, my Sun Pass had gotten stolen out of the car from valet. I didn't realize that my parents were getting all these bills, so they make a big deal about little things sometimes. So whatever it was, I was making fun of my mom. I thought she was like a small issue, like a Sun Pass thing.
And you then start talking about Brown & Brown insurance. What's Brown & Brown insurance? Is that code?
No, that was actually the reason I called her back. Is that for the last call, I forgot to tell her that I had to pay that insurance. Otherwise, if my insurance lapses, they'll cancel the policy, and it was due. So it was due by the 29th.
You then start making more guesses. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, still at a loss for what's going on.
You bring up Yelp. You bring up getting sued, right? Mm-hmm. Again, any clue whatsoever what this is about at this point in time?
No, she sounded really weird on the first call.
Okay. Then we get to the part that we just stopped. And she says to you, I will make you take me out to dinner, so make sure you bring cash with you. At that point in time, what happens to your demeanor? You can hear it on the call. What happens?
I stutter and I repeat back to her what she just said. I'm like, I got to bring cash with me. Like it was so out of place.
Why did that happen at that point in time?
I think she was trying to hint to me that she's getting extorted.
So what was odd about you bringing cash to dinner?
I put everything I possibly can on my credit card. That's how I ended up saving up so much cash.
And let's hear how you respond.
Yeah.
That's probably going to be right. Yeah. I should bring cash. I don't have much cash to bring. No. I'll see if I have money to get it. Was someone blackmailing you?
Just shut up.
Someone trying to blackmail you? No. That's crazy. Is there I don't know what blackmail is, but is there any way I can see you? You can't come up here at all. Necessarily get back here in time for them up. Was this? Can I just ask you this? Is this anything government related, or is this like a whack job writing a letter to you? Like this? Is it like a whack job writing a letter to you, or is this government related? No, I don't know. So it's not government or military or anything like that. No.
Military.
Who's the lawyer addressed it? To you. That's crazy. Did it have do you know who sent it to you? Not a pretty good idea. It's what's happening specifically either. I would like to. I would definitely Whoever sent you the letter, sent you an anonymous letter. Did they sign it? So someone showed up, was it like by process server?
That's what I did was.
It wasn't. Where did they come to you at?
When I walked out of the building, and they were waiting, the first drivers at the airtime.
Right.
And then I walked in about 5 feet from pressing the button so that I could cross the street to get the gate open.
Right.
And just to get out of the bed. Yeah. Okay, so you said.
So let's talk about this call. You ask your mom after she tells you to bring cash, is someone blackmailing you? And she says it's a good possibility. Now, what are you thinking?
I'm starting to evaluate. I still don't have an idea, but I was extorted 21 months earlier, so I'm starting to evaluate: is it related to that, or what could it be?
And are you growing more concerned?
Very, yeah.
And you ask her who the letter was addressed to. Why do you ask her that?
Because I was the one who was extorted 21 months earlier. I had no idea why they'd be going to my mom. It was related to me.
You then mentioned the possibility of seeing your mom tonight, and she doesn't want to see you tonight. Why doesn't she want to see you?
Because she's watching the boys, and she didn't want Wendy to ask her, where were you? And have to tell her, what's going on.
Now, again, I thought, according to the state's theory, Wendy is a co-conspirator in this case, right?
That's part of the theory.
Now, you then say on this, is the person threatening you or anything? Why are you asking that?
Because on the night of the 18th, I was told if you don't pay in 48 hours, you're going to get killed. So I was trying to compare it to what happened to me to see is this related to what happened to me.
You later tell her that your advice to her is going to be to go to the police. Why would your advice to her to go to the police at this point in time?
Because I don't think it's related to what happened to me. But when I asked my mom, are they threatening you? She was like, well, maybe. You never know how to interpret these things. And it was very clear what the threat was to me on the 18th. So okay, then it's something unrelated to at that level of seriousness. Maybe it's something involving code enforcement or OSHA or somebody messing with them. So I was just like, all right, just go to the police.
Now, towards the end of the call, you say it wouldn't be the first time I'm being threatened. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
What were you referring to?
When I was extorted 21 months earlier, I was threatened. So I was trying to compare it to that to see, is it possibly related to what happened to me?
At the end of this call, do you know what is going on yet?
No, I don't know what's going on yet. Let's
go to the third call, which is 12 minutes later. And this is C.
Did they sign it?
This is at 3:00 p.m.
Hey, Jim. Great. Sorry about that. Quick question for you. Well, one thing I was going to tell you is obviously don't talk about things in the apartment or any place.
No, obviously.
The other thing is, was the person black, white, Hispanic?
What?
And they just came up to you and they said your name and they handed you a piece of paper?
No. Person for a while, and then handed it to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And they weren't hat sunglasses or?
No, nothing. Nothing. Describe them to you.
What's that? You could describe them to you?
No, nothing.
Was the person nervous or were they angry? Or?
No, calm as could be. Totally calm.
That's really crazy. Are they trying to ask for money or something?
Yeah.
If someone trying to, listen, if it's something like that, it sounds probably like go to the police, but
they have to, but they'd rather talk to you first and then.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, there's scumbags out there all the time that try to do stuff like that.
Oh, no.
So
that's why just want you to, because I don't want, nobody bother us that.
Don't say anything to dad until I take a look at it. That's my
Absolutely.
Nobody that Harvey.
Did the person give you any kind of time frame or anything?
No.
Okay.
It's clear. What's one thing?
What is it exactly what they asked for?
I don't know, the TV is probably about 5.
They asked you for $5,000?
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
You mentioned, girlfriend. Hi, Sandra, come on in. Good, how are you? Okay.
That's crazy. Let me take a look at it,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll go from there.
Okay, you can go first. Okay, do that one. Yeah.
Now, in the 12 minutes before this call, had you started to put the pieces together and figure out what was going on a little bit?
A little bit. I was thinking about the first call, the second call, and the more I thought about it, I thought this is related to what happened to me. Somehow this is related to it.
And what does your attention shift to in the very beginning of this call?
I wanted to compare it to what happened to me 21 months earlier to see are these the same people that are doing this.
And so the first question you asked, were they black, white, or Hispanic? Why do you ask that question?
Because I always suspected that it was Sigfredo that did it. I mean, process in my head, that was my first guess, and that's what I would have guessed it was. When I met him, he was an angry guy, and I was trying to see is this somebody fitting his description that's maybe coming to my mom and doing this.
Why do you ask her? Did they give you a time frame?
Because that night I was told you got 48 hours to pay up. I'm trying to compare it to, is this person telling my mom you got 48 hours to pay up?
Now, she says no, but it is clear what is wanted. You recall that?
Yes.
And then she says, this TV is probably about 5. Now, before we get there, in the very start of the call, you say don't talk about anything in the apartment or any place. Why do you say that to your mom?
Well, that was one of the first things I told her when I told her what had happened to me when I got extorted and was picking up the checks from her. Is to never talk about it with anybody, not talk about it on the phone, don't talk in the apartment. Is that there's always a chance that the police are listening.
And what would you be afraid the police were listening to if you didn't do a murder?
I never wanted anyone to know I was extorted.
Why didn't you want the police to know you were extorted? What would happen if the police knew you were extorted?
They would come talk to me.
And what would happen if they came and talked to you? What did you think would happen at that point?
If they came to talk to me, if I decided to talk to them, I'd have to tell them what happened to me. And if I told them what happened to me, my life would be in danger. These people would come find me. They'd find someone in my family. I mean, they don't care.
Now, going back to the TV comment where she says, this TV is probably about 5. Did you have code words with your mom that TV, I think they said, do you have that sheet for TV equals? Did TV, was it a code word?
There is absolutely no code word involving TV whatsoever.
I know.
Now, by the way, your response isn't, no, it's an air conditioner. Your response is, they want $5,000? Was there any code there?
Not at all. I just wanted to clarify what was being said to me, to repeat it back.
Your mom then brings up that they brought up an ex-girlfriend. Do you remember that?
I need to buy mascara.
Now,
because I
Ms.
didn't.
Kappelman, in her cross-examinations, went through how you had several ex-girlfriends after Katie Magbanua. You recall that?
I do.
Did any of your other ex-girlfriends become involved in a situation where you were extorted?
I only had one ex-girlfriend whose friends extorted me.
So once she brings up your ex-girlfriend,
Not a regular thing.
did you have a pretty good idea of what was going on?
Oh, I knew exactly what was going on at this point. Well, almost exactly what was going on.
By the way, also during this call, you again remind your mom not to say anything to your father, right?
Yes, I did.
At the end of this call, what do you decide to do?
I'm going to give Katie a call.
And why are you going to reach out to Katie?
I want to see if her friends extorting my mom that she knows of, because she sure knew what had happened to me.
We now publish D, Your Honor, already in evidence.
You may.
We also don't have to worry about the stream. I probably should have
This is a
mentioned
call
that.
between you and Catherine Magbanua at 4:27 p.m. on that same day, correct?
Yes.
You want to use your headphones?
I wonder what.
Hello?
Hey, what's going on? Any someplace you can talk to me?
The what?
Are you any place you can talk to me?
I'm talking now.
What's that?
Just talk right now. Let's talk.
Okay, can you hear something that's not loud when I'm talking to you?
I can't get like loud, like I can't get up.
Okay,
I
well,
live a
I'm trying
loud
to-
life. What do you
Okay,
expect,
okay,
Katie?
All right. Somebody, hang on a second.
Come on.
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear.
Okay, I just want you to listen to me. I'll be able to talk to you in person when I see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Because I don't know what's going on, but my mom walked the kids. I only heard part of the story, and I'm going to go down there and talk to her tomorrow to find out what's going on.
Okay.
If she didn't want to elaborate,
Uh-huh.
but she said that someone approached her on the street, called her by name, handed her an envelope with something in it,
Yeah.
And somebody was, she was really weird with the detail. It was, I have no idea what it was in reference to, but something regarding her son, something regarding his ex-girlfriend, and the person.
He has to call all of his exes.
What?
Yeah. So I said, well, yeah. I'm like, first what you're saying, I thought it was like something involving IRS or something like that. So I don't even know what the fuck it's about at all.
So somebody like bumped into your mom like that?
Well, they came up to her on the street after she dropped the kids off at school. I guess she brought them to school. I don't even know. But they must know her routine. They must know who she is.
Yeah.
They walked up to her. They called her by name. They handed her an envelope. And she said they spoke to her for a few minutes. And then she said they were making reference to my ex-girlfriend. And I have no fucking clue what that's about.
Yeah.
And then they explained that they needed to take the money.
For what?
I mean, that's mom didn't want to talk to me on the phone. Like, well,
But like, did she see a person? Was she like, you should have like,
oh yeah,
or something?
that's what I said. There's no, if I blackmail you or something.
Exactly.
Right.
Right. Like that.
I said, you got to go straight to the police. She's like, I don't even know what this is about. I don't want to talk about it. I don't
Yeah, you should definitely go to the police.
So I'm going to go there. I can't even fucking go there today because I won't get out of work at 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So she's like, just.
So was it stalking your mom?
I don't even fucking know. I don't know what's going on with my mom. You didn't do anything with my mom. I mean, yeah.
Let me pause it right there. You say, and I quote, I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom.
I did say that.
What were you asking her?
Are your friends extorting my mom that you know of? Are they up to this?
Are they up to this,
Now,
Katie? Are they still mad?
During this call, you say, I have no idea what this is in reference to. Why do you say that to Katie?
I'm calling her up and talking about something that she'd asked me to never talk about. And I never planned on talking about it. So I wanted to let her know that I wasn't setting her up. That I needed her help. That's why I was calling her up.
And you make reference to an ex-girlfriend, but you're kind of wishy-washy whether she's the ex-girlfriend. Why?
Because I was implying it was her, but I didn't want her to feel like I was setting her up.
She says to you, when you say, I mean, you didn't do anything with my mom. She says, what would I do with your mom? And you say, just checking.
Yep.
Katie seems surprised on this call.
Very.
How did that make you feel?
I wonder if she
It made me
was
feel good.
back
It made me
with
feel
the
like it wasn't
Grado at this point.
her friends that were doing it. I mean, she knew what had happened last time. She definitely wasn't acting surprised.
Whatever, Charlie.
What was your level of concern at this point in time?
Probably medium. I mean, I was still pretty concerned. My mom didn't sound right on the phone.
Now, there's a call that occurs after this call that is not in evidence, where Katie calls you back. Do you recall what Katie wanted you to do when she called you back?
She wanted me to go down there that night to see my parents.
And did she seem very concerned?
She was extremely concerned when she called me back.
Did you go to see your mom that night?
No, I finished work probably after 10, and I went down there the next afternoon.
Okay, so let's talk about the next day. So just to be clear, the bump happens and these calls happen on April 19th, 2016, right?
Yes.
We're now at April 20th. Where did you meet your mom?
I met her in the lobby of the building.
And did you go anywhere with her?
Yeah, we went for a short walk and ended up sitting on a bench.
What time approximately did you get to Miami and see your mom?
I'd say like 1:30ish.
Okay. Why did you meet her then?
Because she wanted to wait for my dad to go to work.
Where did when you walked to this bench, it's outside of a restaurant called Monty's, right? Not far from a restaurant called Monty's?
Yeah, it's right next to Monty's, actually.
Did you notice anyone following you?
No.
As you sit here today, do you know that you were being followed?
Today I did, yeah.
Okay. Now, I think State's Exhibit 54 has been put in evidence. It's a picture of you and your mom on that bench outside of Monty's. Is that a fair depiction of where you were?
Yeah, we were sitting.
There's been testimony, I think, by Special Agent Sanford that you and your mom were whispering or trying not to be heard. Is that testimony true?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted some privacy for sure.
And how was your mom acting?
She was very scared.
What did she tell you?
Well, she told me that she went to go pick the boys up from school, and that this really big guy came over to her and said that you've been helping out Katie and Tuto, and my brother Tato is going through a hard time, and he's incarcerated. And my brother Tato did a big favor for you, and you need to do what's right. You need to take care of my brother Tato. My mom was like, I don't know what you're talking about. The guy handed her a copy of an article, and it had $5,000 written on it, and it also had a cell phone written on it.
At this point in time, did you have any clue whatsoever who Tato was?
No, I've never heard of Tato in my life.
Okay, so let me make sure that we're all on the same page. You knew who Tuto was, right?
Tuto is Secreto Garcia.
But you had no idea of anyone named Tato or Luis Rivera, correct?
Never heard that name before.
Did your mom show you the paper that was given to her?
Yes, she did.
Do you recall if you took the paper with you or whether you wrote down the phone number from the paper?
I don't know whether I took the paper with me or I just took a piece of paper and wrote the phone number down to the paper. One of the two, but I did have the number with me when I left.
Okay. Now, at this point in time, when you're meeting with your mom, what was she concerned about?
I mean, she was concerned that she was going to get hurt and that they were going to hurt her and then someone else in the family was going to pay. And she wanted to go to the police.
What did you tell your mom in response? What was your theory at this point in time?
I was telling my mom that this is so different than what happened to me. I said, it could actually, I was actually thinking it could have been Sigfredo Garcia because him and Katie were in this explosive fight. And I always suspected that it was him and that he's now extorting my mom. And that's what it was. So I thought it could be that. That scared my mom a lot. But then I said, you know what, this is probably the police. I said, it's, you know, they're not telling you 48 hours or you're going to get killed. They're not hiding who they are for the first, you know, even at that point, I only suspected Sigfredo. This guy's not even hiding who he is. He's not wearing a hat. He's not wearing glasses. He's not trying to conceal himself. You know, the first time I wasn't given a cell phone number. This time they're giving cell phone numbers. They're giving names. They're giving all this information. I'm like, Mom, I think this is the police.
What did you tell your mom you were going to do?
I told her that I was going to go ahead and go talk to Katie and see if she thinks that this is possibly, if this is Sigfredo who I was suspected, and if it is, see if she could get him to stop.
Now, did your mom during this meeting tell you anything about your dad?
Yeah.
What did she say?
She was really worried that her safety was an issue now, and my dad's with her all the time, and she's like, look, I know you don't want me to say anything to Dad, but I have to say something to him. Like this has gone too far. I can't not. So I told her, I said, if you tell him, you got to promise not to say anything to Wendy. Please do not let him go to the police. Like this is going to, you're going to put my life at risk. You're going to put your life at risk. Like, let me just figure out if Katie could get these people to stop, if she's related to them somehow, and identify them and get them to stop.
Why were you so adamant that she not tell Wendy?
I thought Wendy would go to the police, and I thought my dad would too, but my mom swore that she'd be able to get him not to go.
What did you tell your mom about what you would do with your dad after she told him?
I said, after you told Dad what's going on, I said, I'll be happy to have him come over to my house, or I'll meet him. I'm sure he's going to have a whole bunch of questions, and I'll talk to Dad tomorrow.
Now, after you left your mom, what did you do next?
I left, and then I drove up to see Katie. She was probably working for a real estate company, and it was about 15 minutes away from my parents' place.
And I think we heard the calls. I'm not going to play them again. Did you call her to find out the address and where to meet her?
I got the address, and then I called her again as I was pulling into the plaza because I'd never been there before, and she walked out of the office that she was working at.
Okay. Now, when you got to her, by the way, where she was working, was it in a strip mall?
Yes.
Okay. When you got there, where was she?
She was standing in front of the I think it was Optimar Realty. She had just come outside so she could wave me down.
And did you go straight into the restaurant, or did something happen before you went into the restaurant later?
She walked over to the car. I pulled up into a parking spot. She walked over to the car. I wanted to talk to her, so I said, hop in the car. I need to talk to you.
Now, did you know that you were being followed?
No, not at all.
Handsome.
When she got in the car, what did you learn,
sir?
And what happened?
Well, you know, she asked me what happened to my mom. I told her, and I said, do you think this is T? You know, that's what I said. Was T behind what happened to me? And she looked at me. She said yes.
And what did you ask her about information your mom had received when she was approached on the street?
I asked her if she thought that this was T. Do you think he's doing this to my mom? You know, because you guys were fighting like a week or so earlier. They had this explosive fight because she saw his phone and some girl was sending her text messages of a tattoo that she just got at like 3 a.m. So they were like breaking up. And now that my mom's getting extorted and she's having a fight with him, I'm suspecting that it's him.
Do you bring up the name Tato?
Yes.
What happened when you brought up the name Tato?
I said, have you ever heard of some guy Tato? Like, you know, I thought it was a joke that there's a Tuto and a Tato. Like, have you ever heard of Tato? And then she started talking.
What did she say?
She said, yeah, I know Tato. Tato's Tuto's best friend. And she said, he's a bad dude. He's the head of the Latin Kings.
To be entirely honest, I just thought that maybe I'm just slow. That would be fair. But I thought that the attorneys were just getting the name mixed up.
She said they went up to Tallahassee, and he's the one who rented a car, and he's the one who did this to Dan. And
I'm freaking
out. This is the guy that's now extorting my mom.
Hello.
And And I'm like, Katie, is this guy incarcerated? Like, she's like, yeah. And I'm like, does he have brothers? She said he's got 4 or 5 brothers, but he's got a couple hundred brothers in the Latin Kings of Miami.
Let's stop there for a second. So why did you ask her if he was incarcerated?
Because the guy who came up to my mom said, my brother Tato is incarcerated. He's going through a hard time. And he needs your help. You need to take care of him, but then you're taking care of Katie and Tuto.
Now, when Katie is telling you that there is a Tato, that he's the head of the Latin Kings, that he's incarcerated, and you know he has brothers, what starts going through your mind?
Holy shit, this is real. Like this is real extortion, and it's happening again.
What does Katie tell you about what happened in Tallahassee and who did what?
She told me that T was high on drugs, got fast food.
I'm going to interrupt you for 1 second just to make it clear to the jury. I'm going to ask you, I know she used their nicknames, okay? Make that clear. But for the purposes of today, let's use their names so that there's no confusion. Okay, so I understand in the car she used nicknames, either Tato, Tuto, or T. But just for the purposes of today, use their names. Okay, what did she tell you about who did what in Tallahassee?
She said that Sigafredo was high on drugs at the hotel, and that Luis Rivera was the one who shot Dan.
Now, did she tell you that Tato was also behind your extortion, or no?
She said that Sigafredo brought him to go do this, and that it was he got paid, but it was the extorter was Sigafredo.
Did she describe to you? You said she described to you about a rental car. Did she describe to you anything about the payments the next day?
Yes.
What did she tell you?
She said when she brought the money, she met up with them and she gave the money to Sigafredo and him, and that she didn't touch any of it, and that she didn't take a single dime for herself or anything like that.
Now, when you're hearing this in the car, by the way, how long do you think you were in the car for?
10 to 15 minutes, probably closer to 10.
How are you feeling? And what do you now want to do when you're in the car? You've just told your mom that you think it's the police, that it's all going to be okay. Now you've heard that there is a real Tato. How are you feeling, and what are you thinking about doing at this point in time?
I'm freaking out because I thought it was Sigafredo. Then I'm hearing all this stuff about this guy Tato, his name is Luis Rivera. Everything seeming real. I was extorted. Now my mom's getting extorted. Katie's telling me she doesn't think it's Tato or his people. He wouldn't do it like this. He would have done it the way it happened to me. She's telling me that she thinks it's a copycat of one of Tato, someone who knows Tato and is doing a copycat on him and doing their own extortion, or it's probably she thinks it's the police.
Okay. Now, how is she acting in the car?
She's upset. She's very upset.
And you've told her that they used her name, correct? What do you decide to do after she tells you this bombshell information?
Well, I mean, I had more questions than answers when I got done talking to her in the car. I was more confused than ever. And I told my mom, I'm going to talk to Katie and see if her friend is behind this and if she can get him to stop. And now it's like open the door to all these other possibilities and scenarios of what it could be and what to do. So Katie was the only person on the planet that I could talk to about this and see if I could try to get it to stop. So I said, Katie, you want to go inside and get some coffee? And I thought I'd be able to talk to her more and try to see what are we supposed to do.
Now, we know you like to talk. How about when you're scared and trying to figure things out?
I mean, I was freaking out. I was freaking out, and I'm trying to figure things out by talking out different scenarios out loud, thinking if it's this, we do this, or if we do this, what'll happen, or if we do this, what'll happen. And that's why a lot of it's very jumbled up because I'm all over the place.
Okay. So you decide to go inside and get coffee. Katie agrees with you. And is that when you go into the restaurant called, and I always I pronounce it wrong, Your Honor, I'm sorry, Dolce Vita?
Yes, it is. Okay.
When you went into the restaurant,
it's a friggin' Italian place.
Who did you think was behind it? Well, let me start by saying something else. You've seen the audio of you in that restaurant, right? With Katie?
Yes.
Before that audio started, had you met with Katie in the restaurant for about 20 or 30 minutes?
We've been in there about a half hour talking.
So that audio doesn't capture anything in the beginning of your conversation, right?
Yes.
Now, let's talk a little bit about the beginning of the conversation. Obviously, it's many years ago. You're not going to remember word for word what was said. But generally, what was Katie telling you, and what were you telling Katie?
Katie was saying that it's the police. And I didn't care if it was the police. I was there because it was a bad guy. So I'm trying to figure out, like, is my family really in danger? And what should we do? And if they are in danger, what should we do?
Did you know that law enforcement, at some point in the conversation, started to record you?
No, I thought we were alone.
Now, your conversation with Katie in the restaurant, how were you talking? Were you talking freely or carefully?
No, I always spoke to Katie carefully.
Why was it so important for you to talk
to
Katie in this restaurant?
Whenever I spoke to Katie, I needed her help. So I never wanted her to feel like I was trying to set her up or set her friends up, and in that regard. So every time I said something or phrased something, I was always really careful in how I spoke to her.
And again, at this point in time, did you have any clue whatsoever that Katie was part of the extortion of you?
No, I did not think she was ever a part of it.
Now,
want to be a
the first
pirate.
thing that is caught on the recording is if they had any evidence, we would have already gone to the airport. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
What were you saying here, and what was it in context to of what had been said before?
Okay, directly before that, Katie was talking about it being the police and that she thinks it's the police. And I'm like, it's fine if it's the police. Like, we're innocent. They're not going to have any evidence. Like, if we had anything to do with this, I'd be going to the airport right now. What you're saying is that it's the police. Like, we're not going to have evidence to show that we did something that we didn't do.
Charlie, without getting into all the details that I did with Agent Sanford, this communication at Dolce Vita happened in 2016. You were arrested in 2022. When did you know that the state thought that you had participated in the murder of Professor Markell?
When the probable cause affidavit was released.
And when was that affidavit released approximately?
I think it was leaked to the media. I saw it in August of 2016.
Did you ever try to flee the country
Never.
after August 2016?
Never.
Why not?
Because I wasn't part of a murder. They weren't going to have any evidence to show I was part of a murder.
Now, you say during Dolce Vita, one second, Your Honor, I'm sorry, lost my spot. Is Dolce Vita a bit of an argument between you and Katie?
Yeah, you can say that.
And what is the argument about?
That's an argument.
She's taking the position that it's the police and you can't pay the police. And I wasn't as focused on the police as I was focused on, well, if it's a bad guy, what do we do? Like, we can't go to the police.
Why were you not focused on it being the police?
Because I didn't do a murder. I wasn't worried if it was the police.
Now, if it was a bad guy, what did you want her to do? What did you want Katie to do?
I wanted her to reach out to them and see if she could get them to stop. You know, maybe threaten them. Maybe she could pay them. Maybe she could tell them she's going to pay them. It's a one-time thing.
What money?
I want to see if she could identify them and get them to stop.
Why did you want her to do that as opposed to you doing that?
She knew who the original people were. She knew Sigfredo. She knew this guy, Luis Rivera, and she'd be the only person who'd be able to identify them and get them to stop, and maybe they'd be afraid of her.
Now, throughout this recording, several times, you try to sound tough. Is that the case?
Absolutely.
You say, I carry a gun on me, right?
Yes, I said that.
I mean, someone comes up to me. If someone comes up to me, they better be ready to shoot because I'm going to shoot them. Someone come up to me asking for money in my house. When the fucking police show up and there's a doctor, there's an oral surgeon standing there with a dead gang member in his fucking driveway, they're not going to come down too hard on me. Take a break right there. Why are you talking tough?
I want to let her know, like, I've had enough. Like, and you know, they're messing with my mom. They mess with me. Like, I've literally just had enough, and I'm trying to send that message.
Why do you bring up a gang member?
Because 45 minutes earlier, when I was sitting in the car with Katie, she told me that Luis Rivera was the head of the Latin Kings, and that's who the second extortion was, a Latin King gang member who was extorting my parents, which was actually the FBI, but it was.
Immediately after you say those lines, though, you say, and I'm not going to talk anyway. Why do you say that? You're being tough, and then you say, and I'm not going to talk anyway. Yeah. Why do you say that?
Because I didn't want to scare her into thinking that I'm some kind of loose end, that at any point was I going to the police. I was making it clear that at no point I was going to the police.
You then say, Katie, this is not like some chick showing tattoos to your man. What are you talking about here?
That was in reference to their explosive fight that would send her and Sigfredo in opposite directions, and I was thinking that he was behind what had happened to my mom. I thought he was just sending a third party to collect.
And what are you trying to tell Katie to do?
I'm telling her to call this person and to contact them and see if she can get them to stop.
Now,
I'll have to do that when I get home.
You then say,
maybe.
They're not going away. I may wish they'd go away, but they're not going away. And then there's a bunch of unintelligibles, and there's a line that you say, well, with a beard or a badge. Do you have any idea what you were talking about there?
I think we were talking about, is it a police officer or a bad guy?
And again, well, who would be the beard?
The beard would be the bad guy.
And who, again, was Katie trying to convince you it was?
She was trying to convince me it's the police.
Now, we've seen this conversation live, although we can't hear all of it. Are you doing more of the talking or more of the listening?
I'm doing the thinking out loud and talking.
You're not really listening to her at all, right?
No.
You again say, listen, if a badge comes up to you, tell them, have a nice day, officer. And she says, yeah, no, perfect. You say, if not, I don't talk to cops. Sorry. And she says, yeah, no, perfect. What are you saying to Katie here?
I'm reassuring her that I'm keeping my mouth shut and I'm not going to the police and I'm not trying to set her up. But I wanted her to see if maybe make a payment.
Now, you say this person is not, this is after her long unintelligible. You say, well, Katie, this person is not going away. They came very equipped with details. What details are you talking about here?
They know about my payment to her with the checks. They know about the payment.
You then go on a bunch of long discussions about DNA in a rental car. Why do you bring up a rental car?
Because 40 minutes earlier, I was sitting in a car with her and she was telling me that Luis Rivera rented a car.
And during these long discussions, you're talking about how you don't really know anything. You, Charlie, doesn't really know anything. Why are you telling her repeatedly that you don't know anything?
I'm trying to reassure her that I'm harmless and that I don't have any real knowledge of what went on and that, I'm not some loose end that you guys need to go try to clean up.
Now,
Okay.
you then say, they said the guy's name was Tuto. I don't even know who the fuck it is. Did you know who Tuto was?
I knew who Tuto was.
Was this you confusing the names Tuto and Tato?
That's exactly what it was. I was getting the names mixed up.
And she asks you to describe what he looked like, right?
Yes.
And you say, some of it's unintelligible, but you say, well-spoken, like polite. She goes, polite and well-spoken. I said, did he act thug or did he have talk with like a thick Spanish accent or anything? She said, no. I said, was he white or Hispanic? She said he was white, but he could have been Hispanic. Why were these facts important to you and Katie?
Because I was comparing the original extortion that I had to the person that's extorting my mom to see if they fit the description.
And she says, so recognizable. And you say, with no glasses, no hat, very well dressed. And she says, well dressed? As you're talking about this, what are the both of you trying to figure out?
There's no way that could be my guy.
We're trying to figure out, is this related to, is this real extortion or is this the police?
And what is Katie telling you of why she doesn't think this is real extortion and why she thinks it's the police?
Because of how it's being done. And these people wouldn't do it this way. But it still opened up the door to her where she said it could be a copycat and somebody just trying to piggyback the extortion and make it their own. Now,
You say to her every time she's telling you it's the police, you kind of push back. Why do you push back?
The whole purpose of me being there with her was not to hear if it was the police. I needed her help if it wasn't the police.
10 minutes and 28 seconds into the recording, not the meeting, but the recording. The following thing is what you say. They didn't mention my name, which makes me think that these people only know part of the story, or they think they know part of the story. What are you telling Katie here?
I'm saying they didn't mention my name. They don't even know I was extorted, and that they only know part of the story. They know about the checks that my mom was writing to you, or they think they know part of the story. They don't realize that that was payment for an extortion, not payment for a murder.
So whoever's doing this thinks that you did a murder because they don't know that you were extorted.
Exactly.
And by the way, isn't that exactly what the bump is?
The bump is an extortion.
But isn't the bump designed in a way that they thought you did part of a murder, and the responses they got, they didn't understand because they only knew part of the story?
That's exactly it.
Oh, they just needed to take
You then say, when everybody was there the next day, did you take any money? It's not like you're driving around in a Bentley, cruising around in a Megadal. Someone, he must at some point, because otherwise he would have no idea I had anything to do with. First
I
of
was
all,
actually married
remind the jury, how
on
did you know what happened on July 19th, and when did you learn that?
International Pirate Day.
In July 19th, July 18th.
How did you know about the money drop? Let me ask that question.
Okay. Katie told me that the next day she brought the money to Luis and Sigfredo Garcia.
When did she tell you that?
She told me that in the car 30 minutes earlier.
Now, when you're asking this question, who is the everybody that you are referring to?
Sigfredo Garcia and Luis Rivera.
What are you confirming here and why?
That she's not a part of it. I mean, she's broke. I was being sarcastic when I'm like, you're not cruising around in a mega yacht or driving a Bentley. Like, her car's getting declined in Old Navy and she's borrowing $300 from me. So I didn't think she was a part of it. I didn't think at the time that she took any of that money. So that's why I said it like that. Is that you didn't take any of the money next day, and they're saying that like I'm helping you out. So I'm thinking that like Sigfredo must have said something to Louise about the little things that I do to help you out with, lending you money. I gave her a car with 160,000 miles on it. Sigfredo must have said something to Louise, and then maybe one of his people is now trying to extort my family.
And in response, what does she say to you? Who does she say it is?
She thinks it's the police.
And so then you say to her, it could. I wish that it was a cop playing games. Why did you wish it was a cop playing games?
Because then it meant that my mom wasn't being extorted by Latin King gang members.
You say, and I'm not involved. You recall saying that?
Yeah.
Why did you specifically mention the word extortion in Dolce Vita? Why didn't you say, Katie, why are these the same people that did to me? These are the same people that are doing this to my mom that did it to me back in July of 2014. Why didn't you just say that in this recording?
I was being real careful when I spoke to Katie. I would never say the word extortion to her.
Why not?
I would get zero help and she'd think I was setting her up.
And what were you most concerned about at this point in time?
I was most concerned about the gang member that's now extorting my mom, and also about trying to get Katie to help me to stop it.
Again, you say, if it's a cop, I'm happy because I've got nothing to hide. You say that at least 3 times. Why do you tell her that?
Because she keeps on saying that it's the police. And I'm not worried about if it's the police. I'm worried about if it's a gang member and that's coming after my mom.
And as she's pushing back that she doesn't want to make the payment or reach out to the person, you then bring up, it's going to put a spotlight in the investigation. You start talking about the FBI and BBC News. First of all, what investigation are you talking about?
The murder investigations at Amorco.
And why are you trying to tell Katie that this is going to put a spotlight on this investigation? What are you trying? Why are you trying to tell her that?
I'm trying to tell her that this is a big deal. Like if we go to the police on the second extortion, they're going to catch the second extortion, and when they catch them, they're going to turn, and the second extortion is going to turn in the first extortion. And then when you catch the first extortion, the police are going to come talk to us. And then when we tell them what happened, you're going to be in a lot of danger. There's no way I can talk to the police. So by catching the second, it's going to turn in the first. And that's exactly what I say in there.
Now, you tell her that you want her to give the guy the money, right?
Yes.
And she, again, what's her reaction to that?
She's like, you can't pay the cops. They're going to arrest you. They're going to think you're a part of it.
And so then you give a long-winded explanation of what she can say that won't incriminate herself, right?
Or make the police come talk to her. So I was saying, just tell them that you don't know anything.
Again, what are you trying to convince her to do?
Make a payment.
And she's refusing, right?
Yeah.
You say, that's all I was able to come up with. If it's the police, they can't take the money. They can't take the money. They won't even come meet you. If it's this guy, maybe in the back of he knows, unintelligible, fuck off, unintelligible, and that now he's fucking with his wife, and if he's fucking with him, you fuck with the king himself, you'd better kill him because he's going to be a big problem. What are you trying to say to her here?
I'm saying that maybe if you go and contact these people, they're going to know who you are, and they're going to realize they'll know that your husband is Sigfredo Garcia. Sigfredo's about as scary of a guy as you can meet. And if Sigfredo has a problem with you, the only thing you could do to stop Sigfredo if he wants to come after you is to kill Sigfredo. So I wasn't talking about killing him, but I was saying if he knows who you are, he's going to be a big problem. So the only way they can stop Sigfredo is if they kill him, because he's a dangerous guy.
And is that precisely why you wanted her to be contacting this person?
Yeah, because they would know who her husband is, and they would cut it out.
You then say, and so help me God, if they fuck with my family, it's going to be like that Nazi shit because this will be done. Who used that terminology with you?
That was an expression that Katie would use.
I said that now I understand why he was moved out of the penitentiary here in Florida up to South Dakota, because they have much better chance, they being the Latin Kings, of putting a hit on him here than they would in South Dakota.
She would say like this Nazi shit, like to go crazy on somebody, and that was a term that she would use, and I used it back to her, and it just meant I'm saying, listen, like, I'm trying to sound tough also. So I said, listen, I'm going to get somebody to go crazy on this person and get them to stop. Like, this needs to end.
We talk, you say, I don't care what I have to spend. Ms. Kappelman asked one of the witnesses, aren't you admitting to doing a murder for hire here?
Absolutely not. I'm saying that I'll get somebody to act and go crazy on who's ever doing this and get them to stop. I mean, I'm not a scary guy like Sigfredo Garcia is. So I was trying to sound intimidating.
You then say, he doesn't have any bad feelings towards me, does he? Our paths never cross. I didn't know that the two of you would be working out. Why do you ask this?
Because I'm saying, like, I've been compliant. I've been paying every single month. It's not like I didn't do anything to him. I was still thinking maybe it could be him that's doing this, as I was saying.
Now, in the video, you see Katie leaving the table for a bit, right?
Yes.
She leaves for about 2 minutes. And what happens when she leaves, before she comes back?
It's probably the first 2 minutes in the last 45 or 50 minutes that I stopped talking and just sat there and started thinking about everything that we've been talking about.
And as you're sitting there and thinking about it, what goes through your mind? What do you realize?
I just started thinking again about how different this is, and that the person's not hiding who they are. You know, there's no, I'm going to kill you in 48 hours. They're giving lots of information. You know, this is not the same people.
When she comes back, you give her the number, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember if you gave her a piece of paper, or if do you have any recollection of whether you gave her a piece of paper or she wrote down the number, or whether do you have any idea, any memory this many years later?
No, I think I may have just said it to her verbally or given her a paper. I don't remember sitting here today.
Okay. And then you immediately start talking about how the guy didn't have glasses or a hat. Why was that the first thing that you started talking to her about when she came back?
Because I was thinking, like, for 2 years, I had no idea. You know, nothing was confirmed. The identity was hidden. It was just her friend. Now all of a sudden, this guy shows up and he's not even taking the precaution of trying to hide his identity.
Thank you, Sherry.
And at this point in time, when she comes back, who do you think is behind this?
I'm coming around to her way of thinking that it's probably the police and a small chance that it's some sort of copycat, but more than likely it's just the police. It's the police.
What do you ask her to do?
I still ask her to call the number just in a chance that, like, hey, if I'm wrong and it's not the police and it turns out to be somebody that really is dangerous, like I'm betting my mom's life on it being the police. So at least just call and
That's
call and
very
make it so
appreciated.
for that peace of mind that we confirm it is what we think it is.
At the end of the recording, you see that you're actually joking about something.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel at the end of your meeting with her in Dolce Vita?
I feel much better. I mean, I'm back to the way I started when I came out there, is that I was thinking it was probably the police. And I felt even more likely it was the police after I got done with meeting with her.
Now, when you repeatedly say during this recording that you hope it's the police, did you understand that if it was the police, they would be thinking that you were part of a murder?
Correct.
So why were you hoping it was the police?
But I wasn't part of a murder. And if it was the police, it meant there was no danger. Nobody's going to get hurt. And there's no danger to anyone in my family.
Judge, I'm going to move on to another topic.
Before you do that, members of the jury, does anyone need to take a break? Please raise your hand. We will take a brief break for the next 10 minutes. We'll resume a little bit after 3:30.
I thought La Dolce Vita was Beautiful Life. No? Because that's what Beautiful Life got, is the tattoo that Casey Anthony got. Huh. Okay.
I'll find you.
All right. You can step back down with your attorneys if you need to confer with them. We'll get started again in about 10 minutes.
Judge, we're going to try to fix the computer so I can.
Meow, 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 meow.
Okay. Mr. Rashbaum, time check. Where are we at in said examination?
I'm not sure you want
Yeah, that makes sense.
I noticed before you had a script that it looked like you were
Don't
quarter half.
Trap me. I'm Italian.
But I don't anticipate that this will end today. It may.
That much more ground to cover. All right. Once we get into tomorrow, how long?
I think that'd be a better question after today. No, look, we're going chronologically, right? So we just finished Dolce Vita.
Yes.
There are a couple calls I'm going to play that are coming up, but then I'm going to play very few calls.
You're entering the courtroom.
Everyone can be seated. Mr. Rashbaum, you may continue with your
How
examination.
many things would we love for this judge to be a spokesperson
Judge, at this time,
for?
I would like to move in Defendant's
Right
Exhibit
rug.
58, which are selected text messages on July 18th
Target.
that we discussed earlier.
Very well. Any objection from the state other than what's already been made?
No, Your Honor.
Admitted over objection, you may proceed with publishing.
I don't need to publish those. Thank you, Your Honor.
What about J.G. Wentworth?
Do you remember what
Empire
you did when you
Window.
left Dolce Vita?
Yes, I do.
And what did you do?
I got in the car and I called my mom up on the phone.
Where was your mom when you called her?
I think she was at the city park.
Now, throughout this call,
Him at Esther.
you don't mention Katie's name. Why don't you mention her name?
I think I was just always just being careful, but I mean, there was no big deal. My mom knew that I was going to go meet Katie, and I just spoke in general terms.
You tell your mom that everything is fine. What are you telling your mom when you tell her that?
I'm letting her know that it's the police, because that's how I left it when I left my meeting with my mom before I went crazy and I heard all about Luis Rivera. I'm letting my mom know like everything's fine. It's the police.
At the end of this call, there's discussion about cheerleading and Passover. What is your level of concern when you have this call with your mom?
I believe that there is no
I
danger
can't
to my
talk
family.
about
at this time.
Judaism.
Or very minimal.
Sorry, guys.
Now, do you recall that the call got cut off? Well, let me say it differently. Withdraw the question, Your Honor. Do you recall that your mom, on the end of this call, had to call you back?
Yes.
And do you recall that about 5 minutes later, she did call you back?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Judge, at this point in time, I'd like to play State Exhibit G.
You may proceed.
I have to grab a drink. I will be right back. No, I haven't heard that. Maybe.
This is a call between you and your mom at 5:06 on April 20th. Don't hear anything.
Test your equipment again.
I didn't do it. Try it again.
Yeah. Hi, honey. Sorry about that. I had to just schedule
Nothing in the headphones now.
I think it's clear on the speakers, but I guess play it once again. Hold your thumbs up if you can hear it clearly over the speaker.
Yeah. Hi, honey. Sorry about that. I had to just schedule it for Monday for Tuesday. Yeah. So
How about on the speakers? I know you can't hear it.
You just wanted to be a little bit louder on the speaker, you're saying? I'm not Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm not sure why we can't get this to work from call to call, but
No, let's see if everyone can hear it without the headphones.
can you turn up the speaker?
It's at max capacity,
Oh, okay.
which is lower than my voice.
Except for when you're excited.
Exactly.
Good. I just so I hung out with my friend, and then she's gonna sleep on some stuff, and then she's gonna come tomorrow to either my office or Thanos' office and tell me how it works. How she thought about it. So I'm still so I'll talk to her tomorrow. Wish her the best of luck.
yeah.
Anyway.
you think she'll be okay? You think everything will
Yeah,
be
yeah.
good for her?
I told her. I mean, like I was explaining to you, with relationships, they either go one or two ways. Like,
Right.
So it's going to be one or two ways. So,
Yeah. Well,
but that's
hopefully it's how you want it.
yeah.
It would be best for her. Yes, honey, you can. Right. All right, Charlie. I love you.
What did they say? Yeah, you're welcome. So I.
No, just hoping Dad has a good day at the office.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because I like him to have a good night's sleep. So
Yeah.
he works on a long day. Like a long day.
But I truly would not worry about anything.
Wait a second, Lincoln, honey. This little girl is on now. Come here, honey. Wait till she finishes and then you'll go on. You don't think so?
Well,
Yeah, no,
sounds like
without a
you
doubt, I
have-
wouldn't.
Okay, I hope so.
There's nothing to worry about.
No.
No.
So you'll be up at the office. You'll be at our office all day tomorrow.
From 11 to probably by 3, I'm going to be gone.
Oh, really? I'm done for the day.
Well, then I go to Thanos' office.
Oh, Santa. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
Like, I hate this area of like Ives Dairy and 95.
Very crowded.
Oh my God, the traffic. So, to go from like, I mean, literally, for me to go from like, on Biscayne to like all the way to like 95, it's the same amount of time it takes me to go from my house to South Beach.
Wow.
Just east-west. It's quicker for me to go to South Beach from Fort Lauderdale than to be in Miami and go to the highway. I mean, it's 2 lanes, like 2 schools and everything. So, all right,
That's they're swinging, and I'm pushing as high as I can. Like, that's the squeak of the swing.
Pushing you like high as I can.
The old grandma. Oh my gosh! All right, I love you.
Yeah, you probably feel. I would worry about absolutely nothing.
Really?
Yeah, I'm telling you. It's not.
Well, if your theory is correct, then that'll be. We don't know that.
Well, listen. I mean, it's you have to realize something. It does them no good.
Annoying.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, there's nothing. They're not going to gain anything. They're still going to be in the same situation. It's not like it's not like you've ever threatened anybody or hurt anybody. So
no, I know that.
And listen, the thing is that they're not hiding who they are.
Right. Not at all.
Not at all. So
These people are a joke.
When you call your mom back, there's a reference to Harvey. Harvey's your dad, right?
Yes.
Well,
There's a reference to hoping. Your mom says she hopes Harvey had a good day at the office. She'd like him to have a good night's sleep. What did you understand this to be a reference to?
Oh, my dad's about to find out what had happened to me 2 years earlier and what's happening to my mom now.
You're telling your mom repeatedly in this call that not to worry about anything. Why are you telling her not to worry about anything?
Because my mom was worried that a gang member was going to come and hurt her, or somebody was trying to extort her for money.
Now, you then say, not like you ever threatened anyone or hurt anyone. And she says to you, well, if your theory is correct, what was your theory? Well, first of all, when did you go over your theories with each other?
When I saw my mom 2 hours before this call was placed.
And what was your theory and what was her theory?
My theory was that it's the police. My mom's theory was that it's a bad guy and they're going to hurt one, and then somebody else in the family is going to pay the money, and that this was a serious threat and her life's in danger.
You then start talking about, again, how there were no threats, no disguise. Why are you telling this to your mom?
I'm telling my mom that this is so different. It can't be the same person. It can't be the same people that are behind my extortion that are behind her extortion.
Moving on to State Exhibit H. Now, State Exhibit H is a call that's in evidence between Sigfredo Garcia and Katie Magbanua. Do you recall listening to that call?
Yes, I do.
Now, you obviously weren't on the call initially, right?
I was never on that call.
On the call, you can hear them fighting, and Sigfredo is refusing to make the phone call, right?
Yes.
Again, what had you discussed with Katie at Dolce Vita? What were you hoping that she would do?
That she would at least make the phone call, even though we were pretty sure it was the police. I mean, there's still a chance that you're wrong, and this is a copycat who doesn't realize that I was extorted, and they're running their own extortion off of him chasing down my mom.
The next day is now April 21st.
I wonder what.
And the state put in State's Exhibit J. And this is a 22-minute call between you and Catherine Magbanua. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
Was this the first time that you spoke with Katie after your meeting at Dolce Vita?
Yes, it is.
They did insulate her well.
On this call, are you asking to meet with her?
Yes, I want to see her.
And how is she responding to meeting with you?
She's blowing me off. I'm trying to have her come to my office. I'm trying to have her come to the second office on that. She can't find it in her time to come meet me.
And when she seems that way, are you offering to pay for some things for her, like helping her get a hotel room and the keys.
Yeah, and that was actually even before the bump. She had asked me for something, and I said, sure, I'll do it for you. It was a $300 hotel room. But that was before the bump. But yes.
Now, during this call, Katie starts talking about investments in properties. Do you remember that?
I do.
When she starts talking about the investments in the properties, at first, do you have any idea what she's talking about?
I have no clue what she's talking about.
So in this trial, there's been a lot of talk about code. And the government has a nice little cheat sheet as to what they believe the various code words were. Did you and Katie ever discuss any code words?
There was never any code discussed.
But it's fair to say that when you're speaking on the phone with Katie and when you're speaking on the phone with your mom, you're talking very carefully.
Extremely carefully.
And for different reasons, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about why you're talking carefully with Katie. What was the reason why you continued to talk very carefully on the phone with Katie?
I didn't want Katie to think that I was setting her up.
Now, when you say you didn't want her to think that you were setting her up, at this point in time, you didn't think she was part of any murder or any extortion, right?
Correct.
So how would you be setting her up?
Well, she's tied to the people who murdered Dan Markell, and I'm tied to her. So if I went to the police, I would be calling her up and trying to get them caught, and I'd be talking in a much more blunt way.
And what are you afraid of if she thinks that you're setting her up? There's probably a couple things you're afraid of, but what are some of those things that you're afraid of?
The number one thing is I get killed, is they think I'm a loose end.
Okay, what's the number two thing?
Number two thing is I'd get zero help. She would help me with nothing.
And help in finding out what?
Who's behind the second extortion of my mom.
Now, ultimately, during this call, you figure out what she's talking about with properties, right?
As she goes, I'm catching on to some of her lingo.
She says to you, I was talking to someone, do you think that would be a good investment? He was like, no, that is a really stupid, you should really use your head. What did you understand her to be saying? Who is the he?
Well, by this time, she was back with her ex-husband, and I assume that person to be Sigfredo Garcia.
Did you assume her to be saying to you, he doesn't want to make the phone call at this point?
Thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button.
She says, but he is going to look into a couple things, a couple of properties, and find out what's going on. And then I'll go from there because you can't just jump into a place you don't even know. What did you understand her to be telling you here?
She was saying that she's going to look into it. You just can't pay extortion. You don't even know who the person is.
Thank you very much.
She then says later in the call that she thinks that the property was posted incorrectly. She also says that she thinks it's a false lead.
Mm-hmm.
What did you understand her to be saying to you at that point in time?
She's trying to tell me that this is the police. This is not real extortion. And that's pretty much what she was saying. Exactly what she was saying the day before.
That's an awful person.
She says it's one of two scenarios. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now. What did you understand her to be saying were the two scenarios?
Well, the first one is the police, where she's like, you can't pay the police. And the second one would have been a copycat extorter, but not being possibly Luis Rivera or Sigfredo Garcia.
In response, you say, the thing is that property came with full listing, everything but pictures. What are you saying here?
I'm saying that this extortion came with so much information. And that was the thing with the first extortion of July 18th, is that I had no information. Even when I guessed, the person wouldn't say, she just said, no, I'm not going to tell you.
And so the fact that it came with everything but the pictures, what did that make you feel it was?
That it was more than likely law enforcement. I mean, they were giving you phone numbers, they were giving you names, they weren't trying to hide who they were. It had to be, more than likely was law enforcement, but it's still a small chance. It could have been a copycat extorter.
15 minutes and 45 seconds in this call. She says, I did some research. I will find out more. I don't want anyone to take advantage of you. How was she acting?
Like she was protecting me. She was trying to help.
And incidentally, what did you think she was doing for you for the past 20 months since the extortion that occurred on July 18th?
I thought she was protecting me.
You then start talking with her about other types of real estate. Was this real estate at this point?
There was some real talk about real estate because she was working in a real estate company.
And you tell her that you'll lend her money for her real estate career?
Yeah, she once asked me if she ever found a good place would I lend the money and go in partnership with her. I always said if you found the right deal, I would, but we never spoke any specifics beyond that.
And you talked to her about helping her out with her car?
Yeah.
Why were you offering to help Catherine Magbanua out with her real estate career and her car, and saying that at this point in time?
I didn't think that she was benefiting from the extortion of me at all. She always told me she never took any money. Her credit cards were getting declined at Old Navy. She's borrowing money. I thought that she got dragged into this in the same way I got dragged into this.
Now, the next call that's in evidence is K. And this is April 21 at, I believe, 11 o'clock a.m. One moment, Your Honor.
Take your time.
I want to grab my sweatshirt, but it's in my room, and my mom is in there.
This is a call between you and your mom, correct?
Yes.
And this is the first call since the call that we just heard where your mom is swinging the voice,
Earl.
right?
Right.
Now, there's a discussion on this call about meeting with your dad.
Whole different level of crazy.
Why were you going to meet with your dad?
Well, I knew the night of the 20th,
Actually,
my
I
mom was
have the
going to tell my
perfect
dad
girl for
what
her.
happened to me,
Yeah.
and what's happening to her now. And I knew my dad was going to want to talk
She
to me
just
and
got married.
find out what's going on. So I told my mom, listen, I'll talk to dad when he wants to talk to me tomorrow. Just have him meet me.
50 seconds into this call, which again, I don't think we need to play it, is K.
We don't need
You
to play
say,
it. Make them look worse.
I saw a lot of police everywhere giving traffic tickets, so be careful. Anyway, that's who I think it is for multiple reasons. Multiple reasons. What are you telling your mom here?
I'm telling my mom, be careful where you talk about this. I don't want the police to know that I know anything or that I was extorted. They're going to come talk to you. So please maintain your, be careful where you talk.
And when your mom responds
I'll come
again
out
on the earlier
about
call, well, that's good if your
eventually.
theory is correct. What do you understand
Unless
your
I
mom
find
to be
you.
hoping for?
My mom was hoping it was the police.
Now, after this call, you have a call with your dad, and where do you all decide to meet for dinner?
I was originally going to just have my dad come by my house, but I was working late, and I told my dad I'll meet him at like a halfway point between my place and his place, and I met him for sushi down in Miami.
And let's talk about matsuri. Did you go to the restaurant straight from work?
Yes, I did.
Who got there first?
I think my dad was there before me.
When you got there, could you all get a table right away?
No, it was not at night, but the place was packed.
Where did you go when you couldn't get?
Like third day in a row, I'm just going to say for the record, once again, I think it is wild that Donna and Harvey did not show up to court to support their child. The child that they seemingly had the best relationship with. Like, it's actually mind-blowing.
The table.
We waited for about 15 minutes and told the person seating people that we'll just take a seat at the bar. Take 2 seats at the bar if you can.
That's the only
Before
place
you
I
got seats
sit
at the bar,
when I
did you
go
go
out.
anywhere to talk with your dad?
Yeah, we put our name down and we were just sitting outside the restaurant on a bench.
Did you notice anyone around you?
No.
As a result, were you able to talk freely?
Yeah.
Without going into the whole discussion again, what did you discuss generally with your dad?
I told him what had happened to me, and I told him that I thought it was the police that were doing this to mom, and that this is just so different.
Now, was it clear to you when you met with your dad in the outside of the restaurant that your mom had told him everything by that point in time?
She told him everything.
Was it clear that he knew that this was related to Catherine McBanwell?
Yes.
Now, at this point in time, I want to emphasize this point in time, did your mom or your dad know anything about Tato being in prison, confirmation that Sigfredo Garcia was the extorter? Did they know anything about that?
Well, the undercover had told my mom that Tato was incarcerated, but after that, everything that I found out at lunch the day before, or meeting with Katie after I saw my mom, I hadn't spoken to my mom about it, so she knew none of that.
We are very supportive
Now, was your dad
of
upset with you?
opinions in here.
He wanted to know why didn't I come to him. And I said, Dad, I thought if I went to you, I didn't think I'd be able to stop you from going to the police. I don't think you would have realized the danger that I was in, and the family you would be putting the family in. So I think I didn't want to tell anybody. The only reason I told mom was because I ended up picking up the checks from her when she found out.
He now knows, though. Right? He knows as of the evening of April 20th when your mom tells him, but he knows as of Matsuri. Does he say to you, Charlie, I got to go to the police?
No, I think my mom scared him pretty good.
And when you spoke to him, was he behind you in not going to the police?
Yeah, I mean, he understood why I didn't go. I mean, he understood how serious it was. This was not a small part.
Did you tell him outside the restaurant before you go in to eat that you were pretty sure it was the police.
Yeah, I went through all the reasons that we've spoken about. That it was. I was fairly certain it was the police.
Now, you end up getting seated at the restaurant, and where do they seat you?
They seat us at the sushi bar. So
now, Matsuri, it's a pretty authentic Japanese sushi restaurant, right?
yeah, it's in a strip shopping center, but you go in there and like half the people are Japanese. It's very authentic.
At first, did you notice anyone sitting next to your dad?
No, we just sat at the bar, just the two of us.
Later, did you notice someone?
Yes, a gentleman comes over and sits down next to my dad.
Now, before we get into some of the details, did anything initially strike you as very weird about this person who was sitting next to your dad? What was the first thing that struck you as being kind of off?
He was very rude.
How was he rude?
Well, I mean, we're sitting there, we got our dinner plates at the sushi bar. They serve you your food. And so your dinner plate's there and your drinks are there. And he comes over and he plops this big bag.
So there are not two separate accounts. There are two separate streams going. I have one stream going for people on their phones and one stream for people on their laptops. And Mitchell brought this up to me the other day. He was like, I think for your numbers, since they've changed recently, maybe you should address that issue. YouTube has made a huge leap of changes recently, and going through the changes that they have made, excuse me. One of the things is that they are really pushing the vertical stream, which is the phone. And I would hate for people who are at work who have me on in the background and occasionally watch. I mean, I don't want to get anyone in trouble here, but I would hate to just do the phone stream, because I definitely want to just do the laptop stream, if that makes sense.
Down right next to my dad's dinner plate. And it's like, you don't put your belongings on the dinner table.
Not the one that you are on.
His keys, and it's like sitting next to my dad's plate. I've never seen that
Hold
done like
on.
that before.
And that was off to you, right?
Yeah, I just thought the guy was rude. He was off, yeah.
I am posting the link in the
I want to take you back to before you saw the guy. You've seen the recording. Was there some discussion between you and your dad before the recording that the jury has?
Yes.
But the recording starts with you almost mid-sentence saying, I can even tell you he's at Giant Stadium. Do you remember that?
I do.
What are you talking about there?
I'm saying that we're talking about it being the police, and I'm saying the police are just following a lead that's not true.
Now, are you actually using the word police?
No.
You then say it's not done. By the way, what's the reference to Giant Stadium?
Supposedly some guy, Jimmy Hoffa, who got killed years ago, was buried in the end zone of Giant Stadium. So the police went and dug up the end zone, thinking that he was there because somebody said it. So they investigated it, but it was never true.
That's hilarious.
Now, you then say it's not done like that. What were you telling your dad was not done like that?
The extortion wasn't done like it was done to me. It's being done to my mom. That's not how it's done.
And you do this twice, but at 50 seconds into the recording, you say, and the funny thing is, and you whisper something in your dad's ear.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't know the exact words, but what did you whisper into your dad's ear?
I was saying they don't realize I was extorted the first time.
Oh, I love you, Mitchell. You're so great.
Then the second time I say, this is like, the funny thing is, this is like deja vu.
We're going to get to that.
Love that for you, Sherry.
Then there is talk about why they didn't go to Wendy. And why did you think they didn't go to Wendy?
I think they didn't go to Wendy because the police already spoke to her.
And Harvey asks you if Katie agrees with you. Agrees with you about what?
That is the police.
Throughout the video, you're seen repeatedly looking at the guy next to your dad.
Yes.
Why are you looking at him the second time? What piques your attention next?
Well, the waitress came over, and the first thing he said to her is, "What kind of salads do you have here?" And she even just looked at him, and he's like, "It's a sushi bar. You come here to eat sushi, and it's not a place where you come in. You're like, what kind of salads do you have here?" And then when I looked at him, he looked at me, and then he ordered his salad, and he ordered a California roll. So I was like, this guy really doesn't like sushi, and he's coming into a sushi restaurant at 9:00 at night by himself. It seems really odd.
Now, you then say again at some point, and the funny thing is, and it's unintelligible after. Do you think you know what you said at that point?
I said, this is like deja vu.
You're then eating and you say to your dad, I think there's a recorder in the bag. Your dad asks whether they can do that, and you say they can with a warrant. Why did you think there was a recorder in the bag, and who did you think was sitting next to your dad?
I mean, the way the guy ordered his food, I mean, he clearly doesn't like sushi, and he's sitting in a sushi restaurant, and then he's sitting there with his bag on a table next to our dinner plate. He's either the rudest guy ever, or could be a police officer, or I could be just completely wrong, and he is just a rude guy.
And so what happens after, as Ms. Kappelman says, he was made? What happens after you realize that he is a police officer or someone, you have suspicions that he's a police officer?
Yeah, we no longer talk about the extortion.
Why don't you talk about it? What would be the problem with the police knowing about the extortion, the first extortion?
It's the same reason I didn't go to the police the night of July 18th, is that I was worried about my life, my family's life. And I bounced back and forth between should I go, should I not go? And every time I went through the pros and cons, I mean, it wasn't going to bring Dan back. The people who did this don't care about killing someone in the middle of the day. I mean, there's not a question, especially sitting here and seeing Luis Rivera come in, and I know who Sigfredo Garcia is. I don't think these guys would have cared. I think they would have killed me.
Now, after dinner, you leave the restaurant and you go in the parking lot, right?
Yes.
And you thought you were going to just go to your cars. Your dad walks you to your car first, and what happens?
We're just talking, and he's asking me a few more questions, and then he asked me about who's Tato. I guess what's the story with him? Did Katie know who Tato is?
And at that point in time, for the first time, did you tell your dad what you had learned in the car with Katie the day before?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm not holding anything back from my parents, and I told my dad that Tato is a real person, and he's the head of the Latin Kings of Miami, and he's the one who killed Dan.
When you tell your dad that, how does he react?
He's like, look, you think it's the police, why not, maybe you're right, maybe you're wrong, let's just go to the police now. Don't you think that's the safest thing to do? And I said, absolutely not. I mean, these people are connected. They know other people out there. I didn't go to the police originally. I don't want to do that. And he's like, well, I said, I think it's the police. So there's nobody's going to get hurt. And he's like, well, what if you're wrong?
And did this discussion go back and forth for a while?
Yeah, because I mean, what do you say when someone says, what if you're wrong? I mean, you're going to get killed.
What did you tell him you would?
First of all, Harvey is a little slow. I think that there's evidence of that in previous decisions that he has made. Secondly, I just realized that there is a like one of those nice umbrellas back here that you can put up and sit under. The funny things that you see on YouTube. And then the last thing, and then we'll go back. When I was mentioning the changes that YouTube is making right now, they are mostly geared, like when I say mostly, it's like 90% geared towards long form video creators like myself, like Jessica, and for consumers like you guys who watch on their TVs. So they want people to make sure that they're watching the appropriate way. If you are watching on your TV, you are probably going to miss out on the chat, and that sucks. So there's going to have to be like another rollout of changes that incorporates the chats from both streams into one. That's why I try to put them on the screen. So if you are confused about what I'm referring to, it's probably because you're not in that stream, in that chat. I hope that makes sense.
Continue to do.
I said, listen, I'm going to talk to Katie. I mean, hopefully she'll come by and see me tomorrow, or I'll talk to her and see if she's reached out to these people and to see if it is legitimate extortion or if it's just the police.
Did you again go over with your dad all the reasons why you were sure it wasn't the police?
That it was the police.
I'm sorry, that it was the police.
Yeah, at that point I did. I rehashed everything again and went through everything that we discussed.
And at the end of leaving the restaurant, what did your dad agree to?
He agreed not to go to the police.
The next day, you speak with your mom, correct? This is April 22nd.
Yes, I did.
This is defense exhibit. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, John, I'm a little confused. Hold on a second.
A little confused.
This call is not in evidence. On this call, just to refresh your memory so that we don't have to play it. But let me first offer it into evidence. Judge,
makes
it's labeled
my
Defense Exhibit 100.
client
It's a
sound
call
really
between
awful.
Donna
Please don't play
Adelson
it.
and Charlie Adelson on April 22nd. It's state call 1695. We would move it into evidence.
Any objection from the state?
Hearsay, Your Honor.
Members of the jury, the bailiff is going to escort you to the jury room. I'm going to listen to the call.
There you go, maybe. Hopefully it's in whatever so that you can see it. I should have known that's what that meant.
Everyone can be seated.
These two
Stephen, plan
colors
call,
would be
please.
really pretty
Would you like to play a
together.
full call or just the part that I plan on publishing?
Well, how long is the call itself?
Let me check.
Yeah, so Mitchell, the chat displayed on the TV YouTube is different than the one on the phone. That's where the confusion happens. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we keeping you from something, Judge?
All right. Well, I believe the context of the call is really going to matter here, but how long is the portion that you plan to publish?
I plan on starting at around 5 minutes and 50 seconds in. And going till, I can stop it at around 7:30.
All right. Go ahead and just start it from the beginning.
I was supposed to send Mo a color before I left. Yes, that Mo. Mo, as in Mohammed.
Well, I guess it's a good thing when you're not hearing voices, but I do actually need to hear the voices to get through this issue.
I really hate you.
Only on the phone. Why don't you say hello to Charlie? Hold on a second, okay? All right.
Did you rewind at the beginning, Ms. Dugan?
Hey, sweetheart, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Charlie,
Hey, Dad.
how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not too much. I got the boys finishing up a computer show. You finished? Go shut it off, Lincoln. Go brush your teeth, and I got to get Pen. Pen, go brush your teeth now. Pen, go brush your teeth. All right. I got Uncle Charlie on the phone. Why don't you say hello to Charlie? Hold on a second.
I
okay?
was never told to brush my teeth as a kid.
Okay. Hey,
Feral.
sweetheart, how are you?
Good. What's going on?
Well, you know,
Thank you.
you know,
Any any
no,
more drama?
no. I had busy day. I got up early and cooking a lot of stuff to the theater for tomorrow, and then went to no,
Just,
Ben,
you know,
Ben, go to Grandpa, get your teeth brushed.
eagerly awaiting my arrest is all.
Really? Okay, Lincoln, go get your teeth brushed. And then we went to the courthouse. It was very nice. We met Wendy's judge.
Oh, nice.
She is like your next door neighbor.
Really?
She had said that all along because I remember the other judge she works for. Whoa.
Really?
It's impossible. Very difficult woman. This guy is like, you know.
Like fun?
Yeah, just like your neighbor, just sitting, friendly, talking, you know, kidding about how, because one of the guys there, this black guy named Charlie, is with a girl now and he's pretty serious. So he said, yeah, we've all been trying to tell him, you know, secret to our happy marriage. He says, I'm married, I don't know, 30 years or something, this judge. He says, secret to our happy marriage is yes, dear. It's all it works. He says, actually, what really works is you're right, yes, dear. So he said, it works for me. He said, I'm happy. I've got 2 great daughters. You know, my life is good. He says, so I'm trying to tell Charlie, practice every day. Yes, dear, you're right. He said, you'll do great. So, but he was like funny and casual, and it was Casual Friday, so he was just wearing like a pair of pants and a collared, you know, like a colored shirt, you know, casual shirt, t-shirt type thing, and so friendly. What a, just like Wendy said, a genuinely nice guy. You wouldn't think he's going to pull a judge. You just wouldn't believe it. So,
You would never
she's a
believe
nice guy. I'm happy for her.
or
She's a nice person for her to work with, and the other 4 people, you know, that we met also so nice.
Really?
You know, in fact, Trinity, Trinity is going to be I think first he told me he used to be a cop, and then he went to law school, and now he's doing this. Beautiful job, Ben. And he, you know, and he's the one that's married and has 2 kids. And it's such a difference because, for whatever reason, Ben didn't want the ice cream cake. So he went back into Wendy's office, and we're all sitting and having cake. And after about 15 minutes, this guy Trinity gets up, and we thought he was in the bathroom. So, anyway, yes, he did, honey. he just did. He has an extra brush in there. So there's some things that I was hoping. No, I'm going to ask him. He said, "What time tomorrow?" I'm hoping I'm going to have a little time with you tomorrow just to talk about some of the cases that we need to go over. So, okay. All your stuff.
We don't care.
Okay, sweetheart. Okay, I'll get you one. So I would like, if that's possible, maybe. What do you think?
Well, I'm waking up early in the morning. I'm driving up to West Palm Beach.
I know you said that. I couldn't remember what you were doing up there.
I'm going racing.
Oh, maybe you're doing something. Dad said, "What's he doing?" I said, "You know what? I don't remember." He told me he was doing something.
Yeah, no, I'm going racing. I got all the guys going up there.
Yeah.
How
many of you are going?
I think just 4 of us.
Yeah. Is Scotty one of them?
Scott Jones. Scott Radius or Scott Jones?
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on a second. What, Lincoln?
They're raging or racing?
When they scanned the vehicle, they turned into the vehicle and then they transformed and they got in color.
Oh, okay. Tell them I'm going to get a book and go into bed with you, and I will be right there. Okay. I forgot about that.
Get lost, kid.
You can have not this morning. Let me do this with you tomorrow, please. Ben. So you're going up there early. So what is that, like, about 3-4 hours of racing or less?
Yeah, but I mean, you're looking at an hour. It's an hour and 15 minutes there. It's an hour and 15 minutes back here, and I'll probably be there for 2.5 hours.
Okay.
So I'm hoping to get to your place by 5:30.
Okay. If it doesn't work, maybe maybe I'll stay a little bit later. Because dinner, it's not going to be a ladies' night.
No. I can always talk to you after.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Can I just ask you one thing?
Sure.
Has there been any more drama?
No.
Zero. Yeah. Did Dad tell you what I spoke to him about?
Yeah. And I have a couple of questions. That's what I want to get a chance to see you tomorrow.
Yeah, but it makes
those cases.
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. I still have some questions and things that I think need to be addressed. But we'll do that tomorrow.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I mean, there's no rush. I don't start work till Monday.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not like asking you tomorrow, but
yeah,
I thought everything through again and again and again, and I think I'm 100% right.
Yeah. Oh, I would hope so. That would be,
or 99% right, because none of it makes any sense.
No.
I think Georgia Kappelman was laughing
listening
to these.
There's no. It's not. I'm just telling you, it's not done like that. It's not. I know for a fact. It's not done like that at all. And they're approaching somebody who has nothing to do with anything, which is so. Listen, my feeling is that you go to. I'll tell you what my feeling is. It's utter nonsense. That's the best way I can describe it. It's utter nonsense, and I wouldn't pay any attention. No attention at all. It's not done like that. It's flat out. It's not done like that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, no, but I mean, I can say it on the phone without saying it, but it's not done in such a nice manner.
No,
it's not. It's not done like that. It's done like that if you want someone to talk to you. If it's otherwise, it wouldn't be done like that.
Yeah.
No, there's nothing. Listen, if you're. Let's I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what I thought. I think it's nonsense.
Yeah.
Leave it at that.
Okay. All right, sweetie. So, are you going out tonight?
No, probably not, because I want to get up and
do racing early. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and then do all that.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have fun tomorrow. That sounds great.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm buying the cart.
What cart?
I'm buying the go-kart tomorrow.
Oh, I thought you were racing cars.
Kart racing.
Oh, I thought CARS. Oh.
No, you can't rent cars to race. They'll never let you rent a car.
So everybody doing that? They buy carts?
Well, I'm buying my go-kart.
And so what is everybody else doing?
They're renting it,
portion you publish.
But I'm going pro.
Yeah. Okay.
Listen, I've always wanted to go-kart.
With regard to the hearsay objection, the part that really struck my ear was your client saying it's not done this way. What is his qualification to essentially make this opinion if this is not hearsay?
He watches NCIS.
He's been extorted before, and he knows it's not done this way.
Assuming there are many ways to skin a cat, beyond the one way in which he's alleging to have been extorted, what is his foundation to make this opinion?
He's making an opinion based on his past, and it goes to his state of mind. So even though it's hearsay, it's an exception to the hearsay rule.
What is his past?
State any further argument. All right. I am going to sustain the objection. Your client may testify as to any matters he can recall, but specifically not getting into the substance of this call itself.
Fair enough, Your Honor.
Let's bring back in the jurors.
May I approach the podium now?
You may.
I don't know. It just felt like I needed to insert a weird moment during the quiet. I also have thought continuously about the fact that he has a 5-year-old son, and I never knew that before yesterday. And what did Donna think about that? Oh my God.
Probably till 5:45.
All right, you're in courtroom.
She was so disappointed. Shiska. Everything they say is like, they have the weirdest
So round 10
accent.
conceded. The objection as to hearsay is sustained. You may continue.
The Matsuri dinner was on April 21, 2016, correct?
Yes.
The next day, you have a call with your mother. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
During that call with your mother, do you recall asking her whether Dad had told her everything that you told him the night before?
Yeah.
Overall, you can answer the question.
It's not getting to the substance of. You may continue.
Yes, I asked her. My dad told her everything that I talked with him at dinner about.
And on that call, what again do you tell your mom, even with what you had told your dad the night before?
Objection hearsay.
Well, I'm going to allow him to answer the question as long as it's not going to get into an out-of-court statement. You may answer the question.
That it's not done this way. I know for a fact, and I'm 99% sure it is what I thought it was.
What was the basis for you telling your mom that?
I wanted to calm her down and tell her that I'm more sure that it's the police. That the basis was the guy that sat next to us at the restaurant who went to the sushi restaurant and wanted to get a California roll and was real rude.
Okay, now I want to go to April 23rd. Okay, April 23rd. Judge, maybe we go sidebar very briefly.
Okay, I'm glad that they're going to sidebar because I have sat at many restaurants, bars, minding my own business and politely saying something to someone else, and have dealt with rude people all the time. If that's what he's going off of, like, tell him I said hello, or no, say hello.
On April 23rd, do you find out later in the day that a letter has been sent to your parents' home?
The letter was
that your parents received a letter on April 23rd.
It was on a Monday. Was that the 23rd?
Can we show?
I feel like the 23rd is always a Monday. I don't know about you guys.
Do you have the letter?
I believe it was already entered in the evidence.
It is. Do you have a letter? 79. We'll look at it after. I can't. Will you take my word that the letter was received by your parents on April 23rd?
Sure.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, I think it was Monday the 25th.
Ah, you're right. Don't take my word. The letter was received on April 25th.
That I will agree with.
Now, on April 23rd, did you find out that Catherine Magbanawa and Sigfredo Garcia were in a big fight?
Yeah, I did, actually.
And did you learn that Catherine Magbanawa had left it?
Yeah, I believe when I called her on the phone, she said she took her shit and left.
Now, on the 23rd, when you find that out, were you upset?
Yeah.
Why were you upset?
Well, at this point in time, Katie had been protecting me in the first extortion. With Katie being with Sigfredo Garcia, that was the best chance I had to try to stop the second extortion or to find out who's behind it. And then it also made me think that the timing of their explosive breakup and the timing of the guy extorting my mom and the fact that I had just found out on Wednesday, the 20th, that Sigfredo was behind what happened to me was very suspicious. So it opened the door in my head to thinking, like, what if Katie's, what if she's breaking up with him because she found out that he's behind the extortion of my mom and she doesn't want to tell me? So my mind was going there.
And then 2 days later, the letter arrives at your parents' apartment, right?
Yes, on that Monday.
Okay, so let's talk about that Monday, April 25th. Where were you working that day?
I was actually working in that office in South Beach, just a couple blocks away.
And after work, where did you go?
I went over to my parents' house to stop off.
What happened when you got to your parents' house?
My parents were really shaken up because they got a very threatening letter mailed to them saying that you don't take me serious, and Tato is fucked, and soon you will be fucked too. And it was mailed to their apartment. So now they're saying, who's ever doing this, they know where we live, not just the building. They know the apartment number. Like this, they were scared.
Did your parents think that the letter was more threatening or less threatening than the original communication on the street?
Way more threatening.
And what did you do after you found out about the letter?
After I found out about the letter, I called Katie because I'm thinking like this has to be Sigfredo.
These people need to borrow some of his Xanax.
He was behind what happened to me. Not that this has to be, but like it was real suspicious, and I wanted to see what her feelings were. And she was avoiding me. You know, I tried to see Katie on Thursday. I tried to have her come to my office. It's either one of the offices I was working at. She wouldn't come. Tried to have her come on Friday. She wouldn't come. I wanted to see if she wanted to see me Saturday. She was avoiding me, and then it just all was lining up to making me question a lot.
Now, the state put in M. Is that a call that you had with Katie about meeting with her, and this is after the letter arrives?
Yeah, I wanted her to come down to meet me.
Did she agree to meet with you on the evening of the 25th?
Yeah, she drove down to where I was at.
Where did you meet with her?
I met her at my parents' building. I was downstairs.
Did you meet her around the same place that you had met with your mom after the bump?
Yeah.
What did you do when you met? Did you stay in one spot or did you go someplace?
No, we just went for a walk along the sidewalk, along the water. And we walked probably a good 30, 40 minutes maybe.
What did you discuss on your walk?
I confronted her and asked her, do you think that this is Sigfredo that's doing this to my mom? And she again said, no, absolutely not. I'm like, but come on, can you tell me? Because you guys are fighting, and I know he was behind now. What happened to me? Is this what you guys are fighting about? Do you not want to tell me? And she was adamant that it wasn't him. And then I said, well, what about Tato? What about Luis Rivera? And she said, it doesn't seem like something he would do. This is not how he would do it. She said, but he is incarcerated, and Sigfredo did bring him on. He is the one who killed Dan. Is maybe one of his people is trying to do an extortion off of something that he thinks was murder for hire, because whoever it is writing this thinks it was a murder for hire, which it wasn't. So I opened up that possibility. She said, well, probably not, but she said it could be. It's probably the police. She still was like, it's the police, but it could be a copycat.
What did she tell you that she would do? She
was going to call the number, and I was like, you haven't called yet. And she said, no, she hadn't. So I'm like, can you please call the number and see if you know these people and see if you can get it to stop?
After you did it, how long were you with her this evening on this walk where you're having this discussion?
I mean, it was probably 30 minutes there and 30 minutes back, and we sat for like 10 minutes. So I mean, it was over an hour for sure, hour and a half.
When she left, did you stay in South Beach?
Yeah. And I tried to get her to call the number by telling her like my parents are going to go to the police. Like they are going to go if you don't give them some peace of mind and find out that confirm for me.
By the way, this is April 25th. Is that the last time that you saw Catherine Magbanua in person?
Yes.
Now, after you meet with her that night, do you meet with your parents again?
Yeah, I went over. My parents were actually at my sister's apartment, which was a few blocks away. So when I got done there, I sat for a little while, and then I went over to my sister's apartment.
When you went to your sister's apartment, was she there?
No, she wasn't.
And who did you meet with?
My mom came downstairs. My dad stayed up in the apartment because the kids were sleeping.
Why did you meet with your mom alone outside of the apartment? What was your mom and dad afraid of?
It's funny because I noticed it.
I think what they didn't want was Wendy coming home and then starting to question what's going on.
What did you tell your mom when you met with her?
I told her that I talked to Katie, and she does not think that it's Sigfredo, and she still thinks it's the police, and that she's going to look into it on the chance that it's a copycat, and it's a second layer of extortion.
Now, April 26th, the government put in Exhibit O, which is a call between Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine Magbanua, and they put in the text message, which is P and Q, which are text messages between them. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And
I'm not
I know
laughing
you
at
weren't
his
privy to this in real
situation.
time.
That's funny.
But those calls and text messages show that the two of them are fighting still, right?
Yeah.
And as a result of that, strike that, Your Honor. During those calls, what is Catherine Magbanua trying to get Sigfredo Garcia to do?
She wants him to call the number.
Now, the next morning, and this is R, 10:30 a.m., you have a call with your mom. Do you recall that?
Yeah, what date is that?
April 26th now.
Okay.
And you talk about whether she feels better about the things you told her last night. What were the things you told her last night?
I told her that it's the police and that you're not going to be harmed. You're not in any danger. And my mom was hung up on the fact that the person was ratcheting up their threats, making deliveries to their apartment, telling them that they're going to be fucked if they don't pay up.
And there's some discussion about the letter being written like a girl. You remember that?
The beginning part of it was like a girl. The second part sounded real tough.
And so what did you mean about the beginning part of it being written like a girl?
If this guy's saying that he's a Latin king, I can't imagine a Latin king writing "you don't care" as a phrase. It doesn't sound right.
Okay, that kind of I actually
it doesn't sound like that's who it is, who she thinks it is.
At the end of this call, and this is R again, around 2 minutes in, you say, one, they weren't the same person, without a doubt. Listen, I actually do know how these things are done. And that was the same thing that I said. It is not done like this. Your mom says, yeah, that is what you explained.
Oh, yeah.
And you say, no, it is 48 hours. You recall that?
Exactly, yes.
When you say they aren't the same person, what are you saying?
I'm saying it's not the same people that extorted me that are extorting you. It's clearly not the same as the first.
Toasty.
And when you say it's 48 hours, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to what happened to me on July 18th when I was told you got 48 hours or we're going to kill you.
It might just be one R. I can't remember.
We then go to State's Exhibit S, which is later that same day. And you learn that your dad didn't go to work that day.
Yeah.
Why were you upset about that?
Because I knew how this extortion was affecting them. I mean, my dad's probably missed 2 sick days in the last 20 years, and he's afraid he's going to get killed in the parking lot of him walking into his office because he's getting extorted by some Latin King gang member at this point, and he's afraid to go to work. So even though they're telling me they're okay, I know when my dad's not going to work, there's something seriously wrong.
And
your
mom asked you whether you ever checked the phone number I gave you last night. Again, what is she referring to?
She's saying, did you follow up on this? Is this person really a dangerous person?
Your mom then starts talking about fixing bridges. And you say, Mom, just stop with the fucking nonsense because I really don't want to come down there anymore. What are you frustrated with her about?
I'm frustrated. My mom's trying to talk carefully. And I understand that. But I'm letting her know, like, this is the police. Like, I do not think you're in any danger. This is not the same as the extortion that I dealt with. They're not approaching you the same way I was approached. There's so many things that are different. Like, I keep telling them, like, this is the police. You're not in any danger. And she's fixated. And I understand, so they're older. And someone's sending a letter to the house saying you're going to be fucked if you don't pay up. They're scared.
You say 7 minutes and 18 seconds into the call. It's not like, oh, we'll get one of them and the other one will start paying. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. What are you referring to?
That's what my mom's theory was, is that they're going to get her, they're going to hurt her, and then someone else, then they'll go to someone else in the family, and then they'll start paying them.
You then say, first of all, they don't give you a number. I mean, everything is so traceable. They also weren't disguised. Again, you say 10 seconds later, this is not how it's done. What are you reiterating over and over and over to your mom?
Because I think these people aren't hiding who they are. For 2 years, I was not given a name. I wasn't given phone numbers. These people have traceable devices. They're not hiding. It's not done like this.
Okay, we have less than an hour.
And then they kept saying, well, what if you're wrong?
Like, quick.
And that's what kept me looking into it.
1.5 times speed.
Then we go to T. And by the way, T, just to be clear, S was a call with your mom, and that call is at 4:00 p.m. It lasts 15 minutes long. And then T is at 4:33 p.m. of the same day. And this was the first call you had with Katie after you met with her, right?
Yeah.
Again, Katie is talking about a client and property, right?
Yes, she is.
And she asks you for a number. Did you have the number on you?
No.
How were you going to get the number?
I figured I'd just call my mom up and see if she had the phone number. I get it for Katie.
And on you try to get the number from your mom, right?
Yes, I called her.
And did your mom have the number?
No, she said that she had given it to me.
Everyone okay? Technology. Okay.
So what happens in my home?
Let's move on
something
to
just falls
W.
and we're like, Marquetta, damn it.
Actually, we'll skip that.
My deceased grandmother.
Now we go to the next day. The next day, you have a call with Catherine. This is X. You have a call with Catherine McBanoa at 10:42 in the morning. And to kind of spur your memory so that we don't have to play it again, this is the Drake call.
Oh.
you recall that call?
I recall it.
Okay. And
Oh,
during this call, there's some discussion about helping her out with a vacation. What was that about?
She had asked me, and it's on the wires before the bump. She wanted to go down to the Keys, and there's a place that I would stay at that I have a connection to, and I could get a room really inexpensive. So she had reached out to me if whether or not I could call up and get that connection for her. And I said, you know what, I'm going to pay for it for you. So I said, wherever you go, I'm going to take care of it.
I wish my ex was that nice. Actually, I
Judge,
don't.
Can we briefly go sidebar again?
Very briefly.
I just asked for a world of trouble. I wonder where it was in the Keys. I just looked at hotels for 2 nights in the Keys so I could meet my guy that's doing my intro for my channel. Well, he's going to do the intro and the outro. But he plays every night in the Keys, and it's like $1,200 for 2 nights to go to the Keys in February. That's wild, man. It's plumb wild.
Now, one of the calls that's in evidence but was not played yesterday is why, and that's a call to your mom your mom calls you at 12:25 p.m. On the 27th. There's some discussion about Miami Heat tickets. Do you recall that call?
Yes.
Okay. Rather than play the whole call, let me just ask you some questions
Go
to see if you
Cavs.
remember it. Do you recall offering your parents Miami Heat tickets?
Yeah,
Playoffs.
I knew somebody who wanted to sell their tickets, so I wanted to see if they wanted to go.
And they did not want to go, right?
Yeah, they didn't want to go.
And why didn't they want to go?
They were still really upset about being extorted and the letter that came to the house on Monday. This was the day after my dad took the day off of work and to go to work.
And again, what do you
Not very
repeatedly
much.
tell your parents on this call?
I tell them that it's not done like this, that this is basically, I tell them it's not the same people and that you have nothing to worry about.
Do you talk to them about the location they live and the timing of when the bump occurred?
Yeah, this is that call.
And what do you recall telling them about the location where they live and the timing of the bump?
What I was saying is that they live in a very small, safe area. For somebody to do that in the middle of the day, it makes me think that it's even more the police, because it would be so easy for them to get caught doing something that it's almost like people don't care about getting caught.
Okay, so let's briefly recap before we go on. The letter comes on the 25th, right?
Yes.
And no one makes any payment.
No.
The bump had happened on the 19th and a week before, and no one made any payment, right?
No.
What's the next escalation point on April 28th? What happens next? What do the police do next?
The guy that came up to my mom on the street and wrote the letter to the house is now looking for her at work and calling her place of work and calling the office looking for her.
So, and this is, I believe, State Exhibit 107. Okay. Now, you're not on this call, right?
No, I think the guy called Erica.
Okay. And what happens after this call?
Is this the one where the undercover calls Erica?
Their undercover calls Erica, and does someone call you after the undercover calls Erica?
Yeah, he said to Erica that I gave Mrs. Adelson some important papers last week, and she knows what this is about. She needs to call me. So then Erica called my mom and told her about this person that called the office, and my mom was scared because now they're tracking her down at work, and she called me up and she was really shaken.
Now, during this period of time, what had Catherine McBanoa been telling you about her calling the number?
She said she called the number, and she called another number, and nobody picked up.
So your mom calls you, and that's Z. That's Z, correct? That's Z on April 28th at 9:42 a.m. And why did you tell your mom during that call that it's odd that the guy called the office? What was odd about it?
It was odd that he called the office because Katie had been telling me she's been calling the number. So it's odd that the guy's not picking up, but yet he's making phone calls.
After that call, there are a series of calls where you try to reach Catherine McBanoa, right?
Yes.
Why are you trying to reach her?
Because I just heard that the guy's calling the office, and she said she called and the guy wasn't picking up, or she maybe told me it was a non-working number. And I was driving into the office at the time, and I had limited time to try to handle this before I got into the office and became really busy.
Call AA. They played. The state played for the jury. That's a voicemail where you say, "Hey, it's me. It's important. Call me. Bye." Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Now, BB is on April 28th at 10:43 in the morning, and she calls you back, correct?
Yes, she called me back.
what does Katie, if you remember, and I can play it for you if you need it, what does Katie first tell you about the phone number when you call her back, when she calls you back?
She says it's a non-working number and that it's a Gmail number, and it's been called 100 times.
What do you understand her to be saying when she says it's a non-working number?
That like when you call a number, it rings and then you hear like a long beep and no one's able to pick it up and it's not an active line.
Later in this call, BB, she then tells you that she's been calling the number and it just rings. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When she tells you that, how do you feel?
I know she's lying to me because it's either going to be non-working or it's ringing. It can't be both. And the guy's calling the office.
And at that point in time, I think Ms. Kappelman termed it as things got stressful. You started to get upset with her, right?
Yeah, I know she's lying to me.
And as you're finding out that she's lying to you, what do you start to think?
I start to think that this could be Sigfredo, and that's why she's kind of covering and not wanting to come meet me when I keep asking her to come meet me. I think she found out that it's him, and she's just BSing me.
Now, at some point after the argument in the middle of the call, you soften and you say, if someone's messing with you, they're messing with me. Why do you do that?
Because at that point, I wanted her to know that like I'm on your side. I'm not trying to set you up. I'm not turning anybody in. Like I know you're innocent. I had nothing to do with this. I know you had nothing to do with it, but I need your help, and that's why I'm calling her is for help.
At the end of the call, what does she tell you she'll do? What does she tell you to do?
At the end of the call, she says you call for that number. I'm like, fine, I'll call me. I don't know any of these people. I don't think anyone's gonna be afraid of me. But at this point, I don't care. I said, you know what? Let me just call the number, and when I get to the office and I have a break, I'm gonna call them.
Now, does she tell you like she did with Sigfredo on a later call? Does she tell you make sure you don't call from your cell phone?
No.
Does she tell you like she did with Sigfredo on a later call? Make sure you call from a landline.
No.
And you call from your cell phone, correct?
I did, yes.
Now, before you call from your cell phone, you do *67.
Oh my God, I remember *67.
In the event that it's a bad guy, I thought it would prevent him from having my cell phone number.
By the way, in DD, when you're going back and forth, because there's some calls between you and her trying to get the number and seeing if the caller ID at the dental practice, she says to you, you want me to call from my fucking phone? And you say, I can care less where you call from. And she says, exactly. Why do you not care where either of you are calling from?
Because if it's the police, it's fine. I'm worried about if it's not the police.
And why do you think that it doesn't matter where she calls from?
Because I don't think she's involved in the extortion of me or the murder of Dan Markel.
At 1:51, a minute and 51 seconds into DD, and again, DD is that same morning, April 28th, you say to her, they can listen to whatever conversations they want. You're talking about calling on your phone. Quote, they can listen to whatever conversations they want. Why?
He's like, he doesn't realize that he's doing it right here, but he's genuinely trying to look like Alan Jackson in that outfit. Tell me I'm wrong.
Do you not care about anyone hearing what you're talking about?
Because we weren't involved in a murder. You know, we're trying to figure out who's behind the second extortion and if my family's in any danger. If it's the police, let them listen in. That's fine.
Now I want to play FF, and that's the call to the undercover.
DD and FF. Yeah, he's screaming like, I'm Alan Jackson, without realizing it. I'm the Floridian Jewish version of Alan Jackson. I must not have slept well last night.
Hello?
Hello.
Hola, diga. Hello, diga. Who's this? Who's this?
Who this?
Someone's been calling my family. I'm trying to figure out who this is. In reference to what, man? Someone by the name of Sandy called? Yeah, that's me, man.
Hello.
All right, what's going on?
What's going on is my brother Tato. Okay, my brother Tato has not been taken care of. His family's not been taken care of. I talked to a dentist. Why are you calling me? Who are you?
Who the fuck are
I gave
you?
the number to a lady.
Yellow.
I don't know Tato.
You don't know Tato? I'm sure you know Katie and Tuto. They've been taken care of since the family problem been taken care of up north.
I don't know who you are.
You don't? Well, this is going away, my friend. Because let me tell you something. I was at Broward with Tato, and he told me the whole story. He told me nobody was taking care of him. Nobody was taking care of his family. The family was taking care of Katie and Tuto, and nothing's been taken care of with Tato. So we know what's going on. And Tato needs to be taken care of.
Telenova.
The lady already has the paperwork. She knows what I'm talking about. We know Katie. We know Tuto. We know they've been taken care of.
Let me look at
no more fucking around, man. No more fucking around. This ain't going away. Tato, you guys need to do the right thing for Tato. That's my brother, man.
Okay.
That's my brother, and he needs to be taken care of. His family needs to be taken care of, just like Katie and Tuto have been taken care of.
I've never met these people, but let me call you back, okay?
That's bullshit, man. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You know this lady. I don't know your relationship with this lady, but we know what the fuck is going on.
I could totally do this now.
Take care of Tato just like you take care of Katie and Tuto, man.
Hate to admit it.
Now, in hours and hours of The Wire, this is probably the quietest you've ever been. Why?
I was looking to get information from him. I wasn't looking to give him any information about me or anything. He was pretty serious too. I was talking to him on the phone.
Now, when he starts speaking and he says things like in reference to and do the right thing, what did that make you believe?
He sounded educated. He didn't sound like a Latin King gang member.
And after this call, going to GG, you have an 11-minute call with Katie, correct?
I do, yeah.
Now, you're not very good with names, are you?
I'm horrible with names.
So on that 11-minute call, not only do you again get the names Tuto and Tato confused, but now you start calling this undercover whose name is Simon, right?
Yeah, I changed his name by accident.
Did you do it on purpose to hide anything?
No, I'm just bad with names.
I actually believe that.
You say to Katie that you told him you don't even know who these people are and you don't know what he's talking about. Why is it important for you to tell Katie that?
Well, because I don't want Katie to think that I'm trying to set her up or set her friends up, and I'm keeping quiet. But at the same time, I'm going to her for help, and I'm letting her know, like, the guy picked up the phone call as soon as I called him.
There's some conversation on this call about her working at the office. Did Katie ever work at your office?
No, never.
So when she brings up on this call working at your office, why do you kind of just say, yeah, you're a great worker at the office or whatever you say? Why do you not say, Katie, I don't know what you're talking about. You've never worked at the office.
Yeah, if I would have talked bluntly and said you don't work at the office and what the checks were for and that she was cashing them, she would have known I was setting her up or setting her friends up.
You say things on the call like, I might have the wrong Katie. It might be another Katie. Why do you tell her that?
Because when I called her back, she got like really quiet, like almost like she sounded like she wasn't trusting me, and almost like she was suspecting me of trying to set her and her friends up. And that's why I really pushed to say, like, hey, I'm not setting you up, and talk to her like that.
What was all that you cared about at this point in time?
I just wanted the extortion to stop.
And when you say you just wanted the extortion to stop, who were you worried about? What were you worried about?
Well, I was worried that, my parents were really upset. I was worried that my parents were going to go to the police and cash the second extortion, and then or go to the police and end up having to tell them about what happened to me in the first place. And then I was going to have to worry about the original extortion coming after me. And at this point, I know that it involves the head of the Latin Kings and Sigfredo Garcia. I wasn't going to talk to the police.
You talked to her about the guy coming up with details. What details did he come up with on this call?
He knew about payment.
You specifically tell her that he mentioned her name or a Katie. Why do you tell her that?
Because I'm letting her know this involves you. Like, I need your help, but this guy has details that are wrong, but he has details.
And on this call and some others, what do you tell her about your parents?
I tell her that my parents are close to going to the police to try to get her to help me.
Now, does Katie have any idea at this point in time, any idea whatsoever, that your mom had known for 21 months about the original extortion?
No, that's what I've been lying to Katie about. I'm telling her that my parents have no idea what happened to me, and I just tell them it's a long story and I can't talk about it.
Okay. Exhibit II is already in evidence. On that call, it's a call between Katie and Sigfredo. Katie is filling Sigfredo in, correct?
Yeah, I remember that.
And on that call, 1 minute and 47 seconds into the call, she says to Sigfredo, and like they're very, very close to reporting it already. What is she talking about?
She's letting him know what I've been telling her is that like parents are going to go to the police if you can't get these friends of yours to either stop and contact them.
I want to take a couple seconds and dissect this statement. You understand that the state's theory is that Katie, Sigfredo, and Luis Rivera conspired not only with you, but also with your sister and your parents to kill Professor Markel. You understand that, right?
That's the theory.
And you understand that here, Katie is telling Sigfredo, I'm worried that they're going to go to the police. She's not telling it to you. She's telling it to Sigfredo Garcia. Is that what's happening here?
That's exactly what's happening.
Now, the state, you've heard it in this trial, says Katie tried to silo people, right? Nonetheless, Katie is telling Sigfredo that the very people that, according to the state, are co-conspirators for her are going to go to the police and report what? Does it make any sense?
No, not at all.
I'm going to go to JJ now. And that's the same day at 1:46. About 15 minutes later, Sigfredo Garcia calls Katie back.
I just got another inspiring message from someone.
And during this call, he says he's going to get rid of his phone. And Katie tells him not to call from his phone or from the office. Because he says, what does he say he's going to do?
I think he's going to call the person who's extorting my family.
Now, before this point in time, Katie has told you that he and she, or at least she, has called the number how many times?
They could
kill you. 100 times. She says it's not working. It's a Gmail number.
This sweatshirt's so big.
Moving to later in the day, LL is a call between you and Katie.
Do you hear the crackling?
The call begins
or is that
with
just
her again saying that she called the number. Did you find out later through discovery that she never called the number?
Yeah, many years later I found out.
She then says that Sigfredo Garcia left a message. Did you find out in discovery that no message was ever left?
Yeah, they were lying. I found out years later.
I mean, I hope it's all of us and not just me that's hearing the...
Now, during this call, by the way, did you know they were lying at the time?
Okay, good.
No,
Thank you.
I thought she was telling me the truth.
During this call, you say, I don't want anyone to go to jail because you know what? People get mad when they go to jail and they feel like they have somebody to get back at. Do you recall saying that?
Yes, I do.
Why did you tell her that?
I wanted to let her know that I'm not going to the police. I'm not turning anybody in.
I can't afford another laptop right now.
On a later call, do you recall saying what you thought the police could do to protect you?
I think I thought the police couldn't protect me.
Do you recall saying to Katie, I'll give you a secret. I'll move on, Your Honor. We'll do it tomorrow.
You got a few more minutes. You might as well make use of it while you get it.
I got other stuff to do today.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Excuse you. Ow. Ow. Ow.
There's discussions on some of these calls about meeting Katie. Did you ever meet her?
No, last time I saw her was that one day, April 25th.
Now we get to 00, and that's the same day in the evening, and it's a call with your mom. And to refresh your memory on the call so that I don't have to play the whole thing, the call starts with you saying, I'd rather not talk on the phone, and then you talk on the phone for 41 minutes. Do you recall that?
I do.
You say to your mom not to worry, that you're 99% sure of it. Are you sure of it?
I'm sure it's the police.
Why are you so sure of it at this point in time?
Because I'd spoken to the undercover, and when I spoke to him, I realized this is obviously not Sigfredo Garcia.
Whenever you see this shit grin,
how how
because I
different
typed something.
he
I
was
think it's funny.
than how a real Latin king would be. He's not who he says he is. And at that point, I feel very strongly it's the police. At that point.
At that point.
And again, you describe why you don't think it's a real extortion, right?
Yeah.
For the same reasons that we've gone over and over today, correct?
Yes.
Your mom says that they're barking up the wrong tree. Why? What did you understand her to mean when she said they're barking up the wrong tree?
Well, they think it's a murder for hire. They don't realize that it was an extortion on our end.
And your mom says 24 minutes and 20 seconds into the call, I just hope they don't go and bother Wendy. And you respond that Wendy was scared from day one. She is just getting over this. What is Wendy just getting over?
The murder of her ex-husband.
But according to the state,
Throw her under the bus, though. For real.
Wendy Adelson is a co-conspirator with you in her ex-husband's murder.
The state's wrong. Wrong about a lot of things.
And in fact, you then go on to explain again that Wendy is just getting over the tragedy. This is the second time that you have described Professor Markel's murder as a tragedy, right? On the wires.
Yeah.
The first time was nearly a week before the bump.
It was.
I mean, maybe.
"33 minutes and
You know
40
me, I
seconds
can't just
into the
sit here.
call.
I have to do two
And
things.
this was not played for the jury yesterday.
Ooh.
You say they got theories out there. Someone thinks that our family paid for this to be done. What are you saying here?
I'm saying it's the police, and their theory is they think it was a murder for hire, and that's why they're investigating it the way they're doing it, and they're pretending to be gang members who are coming back for more money.
Going back to Dolce Vita.
Mhm.
You're aware Dolce Vita is, according to the state, the final straw that led to your arrest, right?
Yeah.
Going back to Dolce Vita, did you say something very similar to this in Dolce Vita?
Yeah.
What did you say in Dolce Vita?
I said that they only know part of the story, or they think they know part of the story. And
what do they think?
They think it was a murder for hire. And
What was it?
It was an extortion.
I love how Baby like tries to be my hype girl. Like, let's get hype about
Going
her
to the next step.
pajama pants.
PP, which is in evidence but was not published to the jury.
You're super cute.
I want to play
Super
portion.
cute. Not bought and paid for. Natural. And I would do the same for you, maybe. That's the thing. Like, we roll at dawn whenever you need me. Anytime after 7 o'clock is like,
I got a couple boyfriends. You know,
Yeah.
when something else.
It's somebody not from the first layer, but probably the second layer.
You say it's somebody not from the first layer, but probably the second layer.
Yeah.
What are you saying here?
I'm saying I think it's a copycat extorter off of the first extorter. So the second is copying the first.
this was so nice.
And who did you think that copycat was?
I thought the copycat could have been somebody from Luis Rivera, somebody that he may have known or known what he did, and now they're trying to do an extortion of their own, be a copycat.
And if it isn't a copycat, who still did you think it was most likely at this point in time?
I thought it was most likely the police if it wasn't a copycat.
By the way, 22 minutes into that call, PP, there's reference to a jet ski incident. Do you recall that?
Yes.
What jet ski incident are you talking about?
When I went to pick Katie up to go jet skiing July 1st, and Sigfredo cut in front of me and slammed on his brakes and got out of the car and started threatening me in the street. Then started leaving threatening messages on my dad's phone that night.
Oh, we haven't heard from Peggy this week.
Judge, I'm about to move on to the next day. Would you like me to do that?
If you can stop it within 5 minutes, your next line of questioning.
I think it goes a little longer than that.
Very well. Members of the jury, we're going to take our break for the evening at this point. Once again, you're going to receive the same instruction. Do not discuss the case with each other or anyone else. Do not look at any news coverage. Do not seek any information about the case. We'll resume tomorrow at 8:45. Please report by 8:30 and have a good evening.
It goes on for 20 more minutes, so I want to see what they talk about. It was so nice. And then I found the
Yes, sit
other.
down, Mr. Adelson. Everyone can be seated. Briefly go over the schedule for tomorrow.
This.
From here, how much more examination do you believe you have, Mr. Rashbaum?
Judge, I'm getting pretty far. I would say, I think I have maybe an hour left.
Very well. Ms. Kappelman, after your cross-examination, does the state have any rebuttal witnesses that you intend to put on?
I did not, Your Honor.
Very well. Will the defense have any additional witnesses after Mr. Adelson?
Most likely not. We will have a redirect.
You will. How much time you spend with it, that's up to you. Then if the state is not going to put on any rebuttal, then at that point, we'll probably be able to go into the charge conference. I've been editing the instructions that I've sent, at least the initial draft, to you all. I would expect it would go fairly quickly, but as we'll see. Yes, sir.
May we briefly go sidebar to discuss one brief issue?
You can.
I didn't expect that noise when I did that. Hey, Ma. Yeah. What do you want to do for dinner? Are you making me something? Oh, a filet? I'd like a porterhouse. Parmesan crusted with crab, because I know that you are deathly allergic to it. Mwah, ha, ha. For real, for real? Okay. Oh.
All right. We're in recess. Please report by 8:30 tomorrow. Have a good evening, everyone.
Okay. Well, that was just total blast. So, for those of you who may be new here, I know it was crazy busy in the chat. Trust me, I know we got millions of views. But Fridays are a whole different level of slow. So just putting that out there. It's always been that way. I don't know if it's like that for other creators, but it's a bit odd. And tomorrow we are going to finish the case, finish the trial. So I do this Tuesdays through Fridays, beginning at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and that is when we will start tomorrow. There will be a stream on Monday. Now, whether it's a members only stream or a public stream, that is up for deliberation with me, myself, and I. And maybe. And yeah, that's trying to think of anything else. If you haven't liked the stream, please make sure to do that. And like I said, it's not normally like this. Yeah, it's not normally like this. But we're working with what we've got. And I'm so lucky to have Maybe here helping. And I hope that you guys enjoyed today. And tomorrow, we're just going to get better, baby. Just going to get better. All right. That's it for me. Have a blessed, happy, healthy, and wealthy night. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Please make sure to say thank you to Maybe, because I don't know what I would do without her. Like, lots of tears. Okay, guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye. See you tomorrow.